Welcome, Twitch chat. Welcome, hello to this very special Halloween Nova Cup. I'm finally able to reveal my true clowny self. And joining me on the cast, it's none other than X-God and Adams. Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me.
An absolute pleasure indeed. And guys, what a banger of a first game we have lined up today, because it's none other than Ram Pam Pam. That's Fine and Pavided, two times Nova Cup champions this year, facing off against Atrocity and Johnny C, who are both winners in their own right. So this is going to be a really exciting semi-final, guys. Do you guys have any favourites here between these two teams? Can you call it either way?
I'm gonna say that I believe Johnny C on the Nova Cup last month, right? He played with Ashton.
Yeah, he won with
they were
Ashton.
first place, yeah. That was kind of surprising because, like, I mean, Ashton is, I mean, they're both really, really good player, especially Ashton, but like, I haven't seen Johnny, like, performing extremely well in tournaments. So, like, seeing them winning last month was kind of like a pleasant surprise to me. And I mean, apparently he's also rank 1 on the ladder at the moment, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
So
I think
it's
he's
like
I think he's rank 1 peak rating of all time right now, with like nearly 3.5k elo, which is pretty crazy.
his recent form has been really, really good.
Yep, absolutely. What about you, Adams? Have you got a favourite in this matchup?
I think this is like closely matched, like as close as it can be. Like I think that I would give a little bit edge before maybe to Pavided and Fine because they played more together and won.
Mm-hmm.
But like Johnny C is now on the top of the ladder. He's playing with Atrocity,
Yeah.
very good. But I still gonna give like 51% to Pavided and Fine in this matchup.
Well, they have more experience playing together, right? So even though all four players are incredibly good players, Pavided and Fine, they have played more Nova Cups as a team. Whereas Atrocity and Johnny C, they're both clearly fantastic players, nearly 3.5k elo on Fiesta God Johnny C. But this is their first tournament together, so there might be some kind of playstyle clashes and stuff like that. They might just not have the synergy that Ram Pam Pam have developed over the last few months.
Yeah. I know that Fine has won a lot of Nova Cup back then, especially in Division 2. Do you have any idea how many Division 1 he has won?
Fine. I think he's won. I mean, it's at least 2. It might be 3 this year, because him and Pavida just went on an absolute rampage earlier on in the year. I know they won at least 2 back to back, and possibly 3.
Okay.
Over like the summer, June, July. I think they won both of those.
That's very impressive.
All right, we have a lobby open, guys. My God, it's difficult to type and navigate a computer while wearing this monstrosity.
Yeah, I'm surprised people can still, hear you talk while you're having that mask on. It's
Yeah. I mean, what can I say, guys? I'm just an absolute martyr to my craft. It's
just embracing your personality and the whole.
I'm embracing my personality. I'm baking my goddamn head right now. This thing is like an oven. All right. Hopefully the players can start the game pretty quickly, and then I can take this monstrosity off of my head. All right. It looks like we have the players ready. Oh, thank goodness for that, guys. Here it is. Game number 1 of this October Halloween Nova Cup is here. It's Ram Pam Pam on the left, that's Pavided and Fine, versus Double Trouble on the right, that's Atrocity and Johnny C. This is the first game of the semi-final, and once again, Johnny C's load times have caused me to pad that little bit extra. But here we go, guys. Game number 1. Let's go.
Let's go.
So, I already see like all the scaling spells, so this can go a little bit longer, especially when now is the meta to go a lot of income early.
Yeah.
Yes, and we can see already redraw, hostile chaos, all the scaling masterminds.
Yeah, absolutely. This
Pretty
is
much.
really common, and we saw like Drakia and Lucy in particular use the Castle Chaos pair in pretty much all of their series yesterday, especially when you had this like triple eco spell style game, right? And it just means that you're going to scale super strong into the late game and have the ideal mastermind for that.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny say might be a little bit rough for the game, maybe. I'm not sure how confident he is in this opener because he's playing Chaos. So, but
Yeah.
he probably
He's
plays
too,
the Devilfish with the Harvey as a Fiesta player, so probably
Yeah,
has some experience.
Well, that's the thing as well for Johnny, right? Because he does play Fiesta so often, it means that when he plays something like this, he has to kind of play around receiving a snail, which I guess is why he's adding this Polywog in the split, just to try and absolutely maximize his defensive power. Because he is going to get snailed a lot more than other players, I think.
Yeah, but opening with like 180 value pretty much just tells the opponent that he's not on Fiesta.
Yeah, for sure.
So if they didn't know, now they probably know.
They know by now. Meanwhile, Atrocity on a super slow opener there with the Azora and the Angler edition. So very, very slow. Low workers, no pressure coming onto the early game, which is perfect for Fine, right?
Yeah, I mean, Polo is probably going to go 6 and 7 workers regardless of what happens. Like, regardless of how many workers Yellow has. But I mean, in this patch, especially in this meta where everyone kind of auto sends until wave 10, having a slow opener is not as punishing because you're just allowed to be just like chill there and sit back and, early game doesn't matter as much as in the past.
Yeah, and especially when there is like no Fiesta, no leaks, everybody's playing like low Warkeys, so that's very good for him. So he's not gonna be punished for staying like high value. But I already looking at this role, like he has the Crabs with the Disciple, and then
that's
good
scary.
tanks, Yozora, and the Steed, and Hero Aura on top. So everybody's trying to get as good late game as possible.
Yeah. His early game looks kind of weak, though, honestly. Like, those units, sure, they can be fantastic in the late game, but they really suck in the early.
Yeah, it's gonna be somewhat challenging to get there, for sure.
Yeah.
But once they get there, the build is really just gonna pop off,
Yeah, for sure. I guess it's a trade-off, right? He's just trading his early game being a bit weak for his late game being, well, potentially amazing.
Definitely.
My God, this angler positioning is giving me really, really nightmarish flashbacks. Just don't ask me what happened here. Look at this positioning.
I mean, this is like Atrocity's trademark Angler Flower position, right?
Yeah.
And it's tanking pretty nicely, but maybe a little bit too much. It's gonna die.
Yeah, but this one, the split, it's more for the tank value than for
anything
farming
else.
stacks. Yeah.
Meanwhile,
it should be fine. He will have the states to boost mana late.
Yeah, for sure. And he looks like he wants to go for that Bounty Hunter upgraded on 4 just to maximize his stackies. And yeah, there we go, 127 gold. There's the Bounty Hunter. Just wants to make sure he can get as many stacks as possible through this early game.
There was like a period in the summer, I believe. So this guy was double locking in Flower Angler every game, right? And I was in a game with like a 2.4 player, and the guy was also playing lock-in Flower Angler.
Oh no.
And just imagine my reaction when I found out that he made someone of like pretty much any rank is like copying him and just playing the same opening.
Yeah. I mean, there was the Chinese duo that basically played that strategy every single game for like a month, right? So Atrocity was certainly influencing the ladder, and I think he's probably been like the best chef this season in terms of cooking up new builds.
Oh yeah, definitely. Very innovative, for sure.
Yeah, definitely very
Guys,
innovative.
can we have like little? Oh, never mind. I wanted to ask like when we will see the first power merc sent,
Well,
but
here it is.
before I even asked, like there is it, double robo.
Yeah, and Xgod's pointing out that Fine is chilling with 10 workers, by the way, so he is trying to make something happen in this early game. He knows he's not under any pressure because Atrocity's chilling here with 5 workers, and Fine is absolutely abusing that. Look at this. He's doubled his opponent's worker count. He's got 10. He's got 120 Mythian coming out here on wave 5. Now, unfortunately, this Green Devil is very good at tanking robos, but it's still a massive send.
Seraphine is just smurfing here.
Yeah. The Seraphine is just so good in the early game.
Yeah, still leaking, but like really not as much regarding considering it's a 120 cent.
Yeah, 50%, he's absolutely fine with that. The Azora will go down in Atrocity's lane, but of course he's plus 50, so he won't be leaking. It's just a question of whether he's going to be able to full hold, and I think he might be, you know. Yeah, there we go. There's full cover in the mid as well. Atrocity just making the most of that giga overvalue early game.
I think Atrocity will have a big problem to leak Fine in the mid and late game because like this difference in the workers will scale in the income later.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And he's just income sending Fine here as well, right? So Fine's gonna, I think, get away with the really aggressive worker push that he took there on wave 4, wave 5. If there was like brute sends here, Fine could really be in trouble, but it's just a double DT.
Is Johnny gonna leak again? It's gonna be very good for Fine.
He adds a snail, but only one rocker goes to the left, so this might be a leak.
Yeah.
Because
The
slime
Priestess
will
just
get-
doesn't tank enough, and this won't get to full mana, right?
No,
Oh, it misses it. Yeah, that Priestess needed to tank at least 2 for this to work. He's actually going to leak really badly.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, it comes down to the fact that Wave 6 has like a weird aggro every time, so it's more like him being unlucky than...
Yeah. Well, Johnny does leak, though.
Because-
So there is some gold
Yeah.
going back over the way of Fine, and it looks like Pavided is going to be able to hold at least his own lane, but with only 1 gate card alive, he's not going to cover anything in the mid.
So king damage coming up maybe to 87%.
Yeah.
We'll see if that's the case.
Yeah, first blood going the way of double trouble here with Fine, his positioning just not being quite on point. Atrocity maybe could school him there because he is the sandbox king, right?
Okay. 90%, not bad. So yeah, I was saying, it's really on wave 6. It's the aggro gets messy sometimes, and if you're lucky, you know, you get a perfect 3-3 split with your priestess. But if you're not lucky, it's something like that will happen, and you're gonna leak.
Yeah, he
Probably gonna
leaked way
regret
too
his
much.
Send here.
Yeah, big send, 140 Mythium for Atrocity. He is overvalue still, but his value is pretty weak, I think, with the Steed, with the Bounty Hunter,
It
with
is pretty bad.
the Warlock as well, right? Yeah, his Bounty Hunter's going down, and that's his last big tank, really. And what's this? The Brutes are still alive. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Johnny C. Oh no, he's leaking 50% to the income send as well. So Atrocity, he's doing very, very well against this 140 Mythium send, but he will be leaking. And with his teammate leaking half the wave to income as well, they're
Well,
going to take a bit of king damage here.
Unless?
No, there's no way, right?
Yeah.
No,
damage.
the crab is no damage.
Yeah. It's close, but it's no cigar. So I guess
This
this
is very good for the Fine and Pavided, like all those long waves.
Yeah.
Atrocity stuck at lower keys, and they are getting the leaks as well. They can
Atrocity-
snowball out of this.
Atrocity is starting to catch up a little bit. He has the 10 workers now, but he's still behind, and I guess it's like a 3 worker difference between the teams.
But even if you
Yeah.
look at the income, like the Pavided is 20 income ahead, and
Yeah.
here's the castle.
He's playing castle,
So it's
yeah,
gonna
exactly.
be like 60 or 70 ahead already.
Yeah, and Fine has 150 medium, even though they're on the same income. So after sending, he's gonna have like 40 more income.
Yeah, that's pretty juicy. Now, obviously, Atrocity does have his Kingpin power spike coming up, but, you know, it might just not be enough at this stage. Now Fine's aggro is looking really nice with his Priestess tanking perfectly, but this is not the wave where it really counts because that was wave 6, right? The all-important one. We have a hold over here as well for Pavide, but again, only receiving income.
There's some full send coming out on the Johnny C lane on wave 9. He's looking horrible right
he
now.
looks really
he will
weak,
have the Doomsday probably, but not sure it can save him here.
I mean, the Doomsday at least is really fantastic damage here on wave 9, but the rest of his build is just so weak here. He has nothing, right? Well, this
He's
is
on value, and it's gonna be painful if he leak too much.
Yeah, he has some value. His teammate also has some value, plus 228. So Atrocity, obviously, he's going to hold. He's only receiving income, of course. But Johnny C, even though he's on value here, nearly 1200 himself, I do think he's going to leak decently now.
Pretty much everything on his board is weak on this wave.
Yeah. Now, the Millennium is good, and it is killing off a few creeps for him, so he's not going to be leaking everything on low HP, which was the real danger with that semi-AoE build that he's got. But it's just not going to be enough. He's still leaking 88% there, and sure, his teammate hold, but is he even going to be able to full cover because this leak is pretty massive?
Yeah, should be just fine because what's left of the wave doesn't have damage to kill the KP.
Yeah, true.
So it's a full cover.
That's a
I mean,
full
guys,
cover.
plus 2 fair plays. That's like the whole point.
And we have everybody sending again here on wave 10, so no one's respecting the creditor. And there is 2 full sends coming out again, so Fine into Johnny with the mole, and Atrocity with the pack into Fine as well. Now, Fine, his board is looking okay, or at least it was when he had those Disciples, but he decides to sell those for a Scallywag. Oh, and he has Rangers as well. Actually, that's pretty solid damage now.
Should be still leak, but
yeah, it's just, he needs to build. He needs to upgrade the Daphne, but that was like what he rerolled after building the Scallywag. So
yeah.
Can he kill the boss? It's gonna be very good.
The slime is going to get full mana, I think.
There's
it didn't. It just missed by like a fraction of a second. Yeah, but I guess it didn't make too much difference. That's a 74% leak there for Fine, but Atrocity, he's leaking too, only very small, and Johnny does hold here. That was another full send into Johnny, right? Yeah, Mole Brute, and he holds there, so that's pretty nice for him. Pavide is able to fully cover his teammate, and now the Castle Power Spike is about to kick in. So just look at these income numbers, guys. Pavide, 300 income. Massively ahead of the field now. The second highest income is 250 on Johnny C, so he's getting an extra worker worth of gold every single wave. That's pretty juicy for Pavide.
yeah, he's also ahead in value, I believe. Like he's on 1600 value.
Yeah,
and shifting 160 gold, that is. And Johnny is on 1.3k, shifting 300. But after he builds, maybe shifting like 180 for the creditor.
Yeah, it looks like we have everybody playing for creditor. Oh, actually, Johnny decides to go for the hero instead. Well, I can see why, actually. He has a really good circle there with APS, Doomsday, and stuff like that. But he is placing his hero on the wall.
52% lead to the Atrocity and Johnny, but I think it's gonna change very soon.
I think it will change next wave. I think there's some calculations that Jules put in there for Castle and Cartel, but I think they end one wave too early. So you often find Castle like lower than it should be on wave 11 and Cartel on fire wave 11, and then they just dive on wave 12, or Castle, spikes on wave 12. So we might even see Pavide just being on fire as soon as the next wave kicks in.
He was already on fire last wave.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, what a beast. Well, they do go for a full send, actually, on wave 12, trying to catch their opponents, maybe greeding a bit too much with this creditor.
But there was already shoved the hero.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but I mean,
So
this unit, they're kind of bad on 12, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get the Archer upgrade, which is possible, like maybe he goes for something else for 13.
And we do have
And
Pavidad on
maybe,
fire, by the way.
yeah.
So whatever Jules is cooking with those Castle Cartel power spikes, that's the issue there on 11. Oh, Johnny full spends.
Okay,
Okay, he sniffed something coming at the last second. And Atrocity, he's receiving the 240 send, but he added quite a lot as well. And he does, of course, have that Kingpin, but I don't know that
not
it's going to be
voting.
enough.
No.
That will
The
be a
three
leak there
on
for
the
Johnny,
50.
76%, Atrocity 67, so mirrored leaks on the two teams there for Double Trouble. And this is another chunk of King damage. They've just finished regenning back up to 100%, only to have their King lose a ton of HP again here on Wave 12. They're dropping pretty low, actually, all the way down to 50%.
I'm wondering what is the counterplay right now. They are saving the Mythium, but the boards are quite strong. Pavidad is very strong 13 and 15.
Yeah.
Also, Fine is very strong 15. So might be sent on 14, but they will send into Giga values. So might be long save.
Yeah, and they're still comfortable to fully creditor here on 13 as well. So they've read the game correctly. They know their opponents won't send 13 after giving away a ton of gold on 12. So, oh, actually, fine, he spent down to 120, so not quite full creditor value, but Pavidad was shifting 300. Yeah, it's becoming quite difficult now for Atrocity and Johnny, right? Because they did give away a ton of gold. They have allowed Rampam to go for full creditor, and they still go for this 14 send, which is really their power spike for Pavidad and Fine. Now, sure, there's a pro leak coming out here from Atrocity, so it will be a long wave, but Pavidad and Fine, they're just going to be on value, I think.
This is like the dream when you play the creditor. You creditor 3 waves and the opponents just full send you on the 14 when you have all the gold and you couldn't push.
Yeah.
So
Oh, and they actually send themselves as well. So Pavidad with the Scepter Brute here into Atrocity. Now, Atrocity, I mean, he was creditoring as well, right? But I just don't think that his build has quite the same power level that Pavidad and Fine does, especially when, look at these values, man. We've got 3.5k value for Pavidad, we've got 3.4 for Fine. And what is this Cope send coming out now from Double Trouble?
That is actually insane. 3.6k value on 14 and 3.4k value here.
That's pretty wild, right? I mean, let's...
I would think it's two holds. I would think it's especially when there is some smurfing here.
Yeah, that Azerio is just tanking perfectly here for Fine. So we saw it kind of backfire his positioning there on wave 6, but here on 14 it's really, really perfect for him.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Pavidad, I mean, he's making it look easy. He's plus 200 value, so that's kind of no surprise there, but it's very, very easy hold for him. Meanwhile, Atrocity, I mean, he's nearly 3k value himself, but still leaking 48% to the Octobrutes from Pavidad.
Yeah, the game might be in the FF territories.
It's certainly looking very rough for Double Trouble. Adam, since we have you here on the cast, and I've regularly called you the mid-game mastermind, do you see any lines for Double Trouble that could bring them back into the game, or is it just -FF?
I think this is really FF territory. They are behind in everything. The boards are looking solid. The Fine is playing even the redraw, so even if he's like afraid of some wave, he can find the answer. And they have the Work Elite, and they are playing plus value, so there's like not much that Atrocity and Johnny can do at this point.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is their plus value while also having 10 more workers each than their opponents, right?
And shifting.
Yeah, and
more
shifting. So they're not even like trying to overbuild. They're just in such an amazingly strong economic situation that it's almost difficult for them not to be overvalued.
feel like the win percentage is a little bit too generous. 6%. That's 6% more than I would give to.
Yeah.
It's 8 now.
I mean,
Somehow
he's
it's
upped it to 8,
like-
yeah. Maybe Jules knows something that we don't.
So what can they do? They're under pressure as well. So when they will get sent, they might get sent on 18 and be forced to send into those Phoenix and Azaria. There is also Egg here, so
Oh, wow.
They will need to go on.
The thing is, left-handed team, they're just also stronger on 18, right? Like even if they send 18, it's not like they're weak on 18. They have a very strong build.
Yeah, for sure.
So and they can send 17 because their board is already like so good against it.
Yeah. And Pavido was actually shifting gold again here on wave 16, so 2 waves in a row he's been shifting now. I don't think they're going to try for a 17 send when they can see Pavido plus 150 though, so I don't think the shift will be too important. And yeah, everybody is saving their Mythium, but Atrocity and Johnny C, their values are starting to look quite scary actually here. Atrocity nearly 1,000 undervalue even after full building, and we talked about how strong his build is in the late game, and that's still true, but not really when you have like 1,000 less value than your opponents, right?
You know, and I mean,
Yeah.
Fat Warlock build, it's you need you need to be like low value, close to value for it to be strong. Because if you're super low value, you're just gonna get like overwhelmed and you won't get any summons.
Like it's the crabs, you want to be plus value or on value, and unless you are minus value, then they just get overwhelmed, and it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
even worse value than normally.
It's the same as like gates, right? Or any summoning unit, really. If you're overvalue, it can be insane, but if you're undervalue, they're just not going to get the second summon out.
And there's the force send on
Yeah.
18, so there was nothing much to do. Like Atrocity and Johnny will need to like save and hold, but that's just not possible with those boards.
It's not going to happen. They do go for the income send, so they are trying to hang on here for dear life on wave 18. They know it's coming, but the sends are just absolutely massive. We've got, I mean, this is closing in on, I don't know, 1k plus Mythium. I can't really just at a glance that. It's a lot. We'll see when the wave starts.
Yeah, it's definitely more than 1k.
Yeah, just like 2 Ram, Shaman. It's probably like a 1.3, 1.4 in
Yeah.
that ballpark.
Yeah, they're
It's
going
a
for the full
8%.
king upgrades as well, but I just don't really see them surviving this, guys. We've got Atrocity minus 1,400, Johnny C minus 1,400 as well. I mean, they do have boosted Orchids, which are pretty good, but the sends are huge. 1,400, 1,300. Let's see if these guys can survive here, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
I mean, even if they do live here, there isn't really like
Yeah.
what's gonna happen next. They're still behind. It's
Yeah,
not
they're still
they
massively
held
behind.
without sending. Like they still had to send.
And here in Atrocity's Lane, we see pretty much exactly what Adams was describing. Those summoners just got overrun. The crabs, I think, only got 1 or 2 summons off and just didn't provide any value whatsoever. So, yep, here we have the GGs coming out, and that looks like game number 1 going in favour of Ram Pam Pam. Very, very well played there. Atrocity and, Pavided and Fine.
Yeah, it was a very clean game by them. Like they're no trouble whole
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, for sure. They played it very, very nicely. If you look at the graph, they were in the lead basically from wave 3 all the way until the end of the game. So massively, massively in the lead. They had like a 94% win probability by wave 15, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Turning point really the 12th, wave 12th, and that was unexpected, but it worked like a charm, and that was what just turned into a kind of a dead even game into a winning one.
Yeah, I mean, they just got so much gold from that. It's pretty crazy, really. So they get a ton of gold. Obviously, they have more income because they've sent their Mythium, and now they can just sit pretty. Sure, they get this big send on wave 14, but yeah, I mean, they just make it look easy, right? Both Pavided and Fine held. Pavided held with something like 2k value still alive. It was not even remotely close. And meanwhile, Atrocity, the only player to leak, while Johnny held, but he only received income send. So at that stage already, wave 14, the game was looking super, super rough for Atrocity and Johnny C. And they did try to make something happen. They tried to like survive this wave 18 with the income King's End, but the leaks were just too massive, right? They got both nearly 1400 Mythium Sends and leaked north of 100% each, and it's too much. Their king can't survive that. So yeah, game one does go in favour of Ram Pam Pam. Atrocity and Johnny C, though, I definitely think these players can mix things up a bit in game number 2. I wouldn't be surprised to see Johnny go for his Fiesta this time around. And I mean, for sure, I'd love to see a game number 3, right? So I'm kind of rooting for Atrocity and Johnny this time around to turn the game back in their favour and hopefully keep this series going. What do you guys think?
They are definitely capable of that. I would like to see some Fiesta as well, and maybe Atrocity, if he's not stuck with the anglers, he can have some impact as well in the game.
Yeah. I mean, Atrocity's early game was atrocious that time around, right? Like, we saw on wave 5, he was 5 workers versus the 10 of Fine. Like, it's not often that you see someone doubling their opponent's worker count that early on in the game. And yeah, Fine just absolutely snowballed his game from there. So they certainly played to their advantage, and we saw them steer that one to a pretty decisive win. But guys, game number 2 is here already, so let's see if these guys can turn it around. Game number 2.
Let's go. Spells are looking way better now. We have Embargo and All of Us out, so some aggression possible after 10. We also have like big switch. We see Atrocity on the Fiesta and not Johnny C.
Oh, okay. That's interesting because, like, if you're snailing anyone, you're snailing Johnny, right? So I can kind of see why they would go for a mind game like this, actually.
They probably go for logic that Johnny will pick now Fiesta and they snail him, maybe, right?
Yeah.
But there are some cons and pros, right? Because I'm not sure how confident Atrocity is on playing Fiesta.
I think he also has a really bad Fiesta roll, by the way.
Yeah, that is kind of bad. I mean, what can you even open?
He's already rerolled, so he's searching for something better. Let's see if he finds anything.
He could open the veteran into FF if he gets nailed.
I mean, so the veteran like Pee-wee thing does work for Fiesta, as in you leak on wave 1, but then you have a veteran and a Pee-wee on your board, so you know.
Exactly.
Hey,
Maybe it's the Harpies, it will work, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the mind game works, so the snail does come out into Johnny, who will snack that with his Berserker, and Atrocity just goes for the Gatling gun Fiesta. So, again, hopefully he's applied for trademark use there from Shadowwings, who does hold the Gatling gun registered trademark, but hopefully Atrocity will be allowed this time around. And yeah, Johnny just getting the +4 gold, so that's nice to see. Game off to a good start, but of course, no Fiesta leak on 1 from Atrocity, or wave 2 for that matter.
Yeah, interesting that I don't know if you guys noticed, but Fine went for a lock-in photo this game.
Oh, he didn't lock in random.
Yeah, no, it's lock-in photo. Like I saw it.
Oh, very good.
Maybe because of the protector spell, the good synergy.
Or protect to the AoE as well. So there's nothing not to be scared if you have the Azaria on board.
Yeah, true. I mean, Azaria with Protector is probably the best unit for Wave 11, right? So I can definitely see that being a good answer to the All-Out Assault.
It maybe was also Pavidid was picking first, and maybe he was opening the gun, so it's very good.
They cover each
match.
other's weaknesses, yeah. Good team play there. Now, we do have players just going for income again, nothing much to write home about. Atrocity has gone for 6 workers, so he can only add the 1 Pee-wee here. He's only receiving 1 snail, though. I kind of don't expect Fine to send another 1 post-income, so I'd be interested... yeah, there's the king up there from Fine. So, will this leak to a single snail? I'm not sure.
It is leaking to single snail for sure.
Okay.
Or, I think so. I think Gargoyle is holding, but PV is not gonna be enough. It's
Well, let's check it out. It's the 40 Mythium send, but only the single snail. There was a double snail sent into Pavided, but he has the gargoyle, of course, so he should be doing okay. And yeah, this does look like a leak. Not a bad one, though. 44%.
44%. Yeah.
Versus two
it's
snails,
really
that
good.
could have been pretty bad.
Yeah.
And Pavided does leak very, very small to the double snail. He's not Fiesta, but he's very, very, very fine leaking so small.
think if
Especially
you are-
after. No, go ahead.
I think if you're a fan, you are happy. It's those leak, like you sent one snail and he still leak almost half the wave, and it's
Yep.
like his first Fiesta, so I will be more happy on the fine side.
Oh yeah, they're definitely happy with this, especially because Johnny leaked. I mean, look, he leaked a 1 HP lizard, but the important thing is they get some king damage in. It's only 5%, but every little helps, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there's the veteran upgraded. This board is starting to look a little bit shaky for Atrocity. Both of these units, I mean, he's going to be fine on wave 4, but he's just garbage on 6 with the veteran and the Gatling gun already committed.
Probably has to overbuild for 5, but he only has Madman. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a little bit rough.
Well, he does
And look
receive
at
a full
this.
send here from Fine with the quadruple snail, so we'll have to see if he's going to Fiesta again. It looks like he will. Does kill... No, he doesn't get that last chicken, so 46% over here. Meanwhile, Pavided getting exactly the same send, does have a little bit more value, and that's just a full hold for him. Oh, but Johnny leaks half the wave as well to the lizard double snail. This is even more king damage going the way of Ram Pam Pam. I think Double Trouble probably starting to sweat now. That remember, this is match point for them. They can't afford to lose here, and they're already 76% king HP on wave 4.
This double
Yeah, I was
Fiesta
gonna
is
point
not
out.
working.
I was gonna point out that Johnny C was like not only he pushed workers, he also shifted a little bit on 4. So when he got 80 cent, I was gonna say he's gonna leak, and it's a pretty huge one.
Yeah, definitely not ideal at all. He is getting a resend here, so he will be able to hold now for sure with that Butcher added. But, I mean, look at this. Jules is saying they only have a 20% chance to win, which is not where you want to be in this crucial game number 2.
Fine did save, and now he's gonna send double bird into
Yeah.
double vet with its gun. It's gonna be very rough for Atrocity to do anything on wave 6.
I mean, he's just going to die, right? Like, what can he do? He can add a hardened Mudman or maybe a Disciple just for single target damage, but there's just no way he holds against 2 brutes.
Yeah.
The
Really
saving
good
grace is that
optical
Johnny
for-
C should be able to hold, right? Because he's kind of on value, he has a lifesteal berserker, and crucially, he's not receiving a send. So I think Johnny's going to be turbo fine, but Atrocity, I mean, yeah, he's just dead.
Can be very rough because like you can see this team play right now. Like Fine is gonna send up a bird, leak long wave for Atrocity, and it will give time for Pavidi to send Mimic into this board on wave 7.
I kind of don't like the Mudman positioning. I mean, I guess it's okay because only 2 Rocco went to the left.
Yeah. I mean, it almost doesn't matter where he puts it, right? He's going to leak this wave.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is probably
there's
best
like
case
a-
scenario for him, honestly. 65%, 2 brutes, 2 creeps.
Mhm.
That's probably about as well as he could have hoped to do with that board on this wave. Alright, the full HP Lifesteal Berserker should at least be able to clean something up, although being slowed by 2 brutes, that reduces its DPS by a lot. Oh, that's looking scary now. Pavided with 150 Mythium already in the bank. This is a very long wave.
It's
And
coming.
is
It's
it going to
coming.
be
And the
Mimic
Mimic.
territory? There it is.
Exactly. And it is gonna be so rough to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got 200 gold, but there's nothing really great that he can build with that. The Chaos Gods are not smiling on Johnny C this game, it seems. His best bet is probably, I mean, I don't know, Green Devil, sell your little shitters and make another Green Devil in the split?
Maybe sell this into bank, but not sure if he gets
Or-
gold.
lifesteal Aqua, I guess.
I really
10,000
don't
HP.
like this Aqua
No.
because it's magic damage and he's obviously getting mimics in here, so it's gonna do nothing. I
It's
think
going to do absolutely
could
nothing.
probably-
It doesn't even tank, so his Berserker is just going to die way too quickly, and that was his only hope of ever killing the Mimic. Oh, it's even focusing the Mimic, which he just can never kill. This
That
is
is bad.
This is worst case for Johnny. That's 114% leak here, and Atrocity leaking 58% as well. Guys, their king is not looking too healthy here. It's wave 7. They're going to drop a ton of HP now.
That is really, really not looking good.
Oh, they're going very, very low. Actually, this is Rampampam's game to lose from this point, I think. They're so far in the lead, and it's only wave 7. Look at this. 94% win probability from the duels.
Yeah.
I got upgrade the gun. There we go. This is just GG now, because like they've had so much gold, now it's Atrocity trying to do something with the pack leader, but it's just too late.
It's too little, too late. I mean, there's just no way, right? With the Vulcan Cannon, I think it's almost impossible to leak on wave 8 unless you're getting a siege ram or something ridiculous.
Yeah. Also, just like their board, even if this is even if their king is 100% HP and they have the same level of income, their board just looks infinitely worse than their opponents. I mean, you have like what 3-4 veterans on Atrocity's lane, and Johnny sees Chaos build just doesn't look that promising. You know, you have a lifesteal Aqua, Fire Elemental.
Yeah. And of course, Pavided easily holds to the 220 send, while Atrocity leaks to a Dino. Now, he is Fiesta, so again, not as punishing as it could have been otherwise, but the fact that Pavided held his big pack leader send here on 8 is just spelling absolute doom, I think, for Double Trouble. Meanwhile, Fine just continuing to cement his lead. Pavida as well, actually. They're just going for the income sends. Their income is very far ahead of their opponents by now. They also have an absolutely massive worker lead. Look at this. We've got 35 workers on the side of Rampampam versus 27 for Double Trouble. So basically, wherever you look, Double Trouble really are struggling here. The King HP, they're massively down. The workers, the income, they're down. Double shot down as well for Pavided and Fine. This is starting to feel very, very rough.
And
Yeah,
it's
I
not
mean-
looking good for next waves as well, because they
No.
Fine is very strong. It's this Pota on 11, 12, 13, and
Yeah.
offensive spells.
No,
But the thing is, when you're this far ahead, like all the waves feel kind of strong, like because you're just like you have so much more gold and income, and you can fix your board because you're this ahead.
yeah.
Even if you have a bad wave, you can just and more leaks. I mean, sure he's Fiesta, but this is just more gold for the other team.
Yep, and it's mostly income send as well. There was a brute in there, but it was a Cannoneer brute, the classic Ashton send.
It is like you send income, and then after income you send this bird.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
think you can leak.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah, it's smart.
Now, Atrocity should at least be able to hold here, I think.
If he doesn't kill his gun by not placing anything here,
Nah, the boss go here. It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
okay.
okay, yeah, he added.
This is already too close, I think.
Okay, so a round of Income King from Rampampam. Double Trouble do save their Mythium here, and there is all-out assault on the table, so they might try to make something happen now on wave 11, but as we were saying, Fine has the option for the Protector Aziria. Pavided, he's got a very strong wave 11 board as well. Oh, and Atrocity, he's even leaking here to the full income send this time around, the Cannoneer Dino. Now, that's not necessarily terrible for him. Again, it's Fiesta, and the long wave may be in their favour if they're going for this all-out assault play. Oh, it's actually even more king damage.
I like the effort of them saving and trying to do maybe big 12 cent, but
It's game over. They're going for the AoE recent and
Yeah.
Atrocity Johnny C saves. It's
I mean,
game over.
that's just curtains, right? Like Atrocity and Johnny C, they're just dead to this AoE resend, I think.
They're dead.
it's very good play by Fine Pavidet. Like they protect 12 cent by going aggressive here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If Atrocity and Johnny is not sending here, they probably just die.
Yeah.
That's the logic
That's what
behind
happens.
it.
And even if they do send here, like there's just a good chance that they lose the race because they have no King HP and Rem Pam Pam have a lot of upgrades already on theirs.
Yeah.
Alright, 300 Mythium for Atrocity, 360 for Johnny C. Is either player able to hold here? This is a crucial wave for them. They leak too much here and they are done in this October
I
Nova
mean,
Cup.
there's just no way they hold.
Yeah, the gun here from Atrocity is getting overwhelmed. That thing goes down. He does get off the maximum gate summons, but it's not going to be enough. And yeah, there's Johnny C with the 99% leak. There is Atrocity with the 49, so he did pretty well here, but it's just not enough. They will drop game number 2 as well, and that's a 2-0 in favour of Rem Pam Pam, making their way through to the grand finals in style.
Way too easy.
Yeah, well, game number 1 at least was quite close, or certainly closer than this. This game number 2 was just a stomp.
Yeah, really a surprising game 2. Just that wave 3, 4, and 5 really just like sealed the deal.
Yeah, wave 3 where both players leaked, wave 4 where both players leaked half the wave, and then we even have Atrocity leaking decently on 6. Big leaks on wave 7. I mean, by wave 7 the game is pretty much already over. Atrocity and Johnny C, they need a miracle to come back from this position, and the miracle was not forthcoming. Game ended very cleanly by Ram Pam Pam here on wave 11. Not really any doubts with that one. They just played it very, very well, steered a clear path to victory. We may have the other semi-finals still going on, guys, so let's see if we can pop into that one. It does look like Drakir and Lucy. Oh, they actually dropped game 1 against Quacker and Isolde. So let me update that scoreboard very quickly, and then we might try and hop into their game. But they're on wave 18, so it's ending very, very
It's
soon.
game 2, right?
Maybe it go to 25. Who knows?
Maybe.
Maybe it's just half time.
Alright, let's sort this one out. Okay, so let's hop into Drakir's game, see if we can catch the end of this game number 2.
We will catch the sense on 19.
Yeah, so it's 18 and they're sending, so the send is coming on 19, but look at their builds. Everyone has a pretty decent build for 19, I would say.
Yeah, Big Sun's coming out all around, it looks like. Although it looks like Drakir has a much bigger send than anybody else with that double Kraken Shaman, so Dark Quacker probably going to be in a spot of bother here on wave 19. We do have a maximum upgraded king on both sides. They're also both single Kingsguard as well, so small leaks they should be able to survive. I just don't think the leak is going to be very small. Everybody is massively undervalued here, with minus 1000 being the best position, minus 1400 being the worst.
All their board looks pretty good. Like Lucy has like 6, 7 hardened golden.
Yeah, she's also receiving the smallest send, right? So I think Lucy can do very, very well here.
Yeah, Drakir has lifesteal, white main gates.
Yep. So he can do fine as well, but it looks like Quacker, he's getting overwhelmed. His Phoenixes are dying very, very quickly. That's going to be a massive leak for him. His teammate Isolde is doing a little bit better, but still an 85% leak. And when you've got 230-40% combined leak reaching your king on wave 19, I don't think the game is going any longer, guys, so I guess we got into this one just in time to see the ending wave. Barnes Kieran evening the scoreline. This is a 1-1 now here in the second semi-final. So we will be able to see game number 3, guys, which is pretty exciting.
Game looked like it was kind of up and down. That's nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
actually, that graph is
uh,
wild, right? That's such a roller coaster with it going back and forth between the two teams.
So this one, it certainly seems more exciting than the other series.
Let's hope they will keep it like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially that we've seen. It is 1-1 already, and that game number 2 actually looked very close, even though we only saw the very last game there. And Kusa, they've used Castle and Lock-in, while Barnos Kieran, they've used Greed and Kingsguard. So still some very strong masterminds left available for both teams, and we'll have to see how they decide to play it as we go into game number 3. I guess kind
Yeah,
of
Redraw still on the board. Is it?
redraw still available for both teams, Chaos still available for both teams, Castle and Chaos available for Lucy and Drakia, which is a pairing that they definitely like to use. It looks like Adams is subbing in for Isolde here in game 3. Alright, we should be able to get this game going pretty quickly, guys. It looks like the players are not messing about. Everybody wants to get into game number 3 and see which of these teams will be joining Rampampam in the grand finals of this month's Nova Cup. And without any further ado, game number 3 is here. Any predictions, guys? I know we haven't really had a chance to see these two play other than the very last wave of last game. But if you had to call it, would you go with Barnes Kieran, or do you think Quacker and Isolde have a chance?
I think they have the chance, Isolde and Quacker, but of course I will favorite Drahir and Lucy because they have so much experience and they are also a little bit better players overall.
I think that's fair, but I also think Dark Quacker and Isolde both actually tend to perform much better in tournaments than you might expect. So, I mean, Quacker doesn't really grind the ladder at all, but every time I've seen him in a tournament, I've been impressed. And likewise with Isolde, actually, he's won a tournament himself this year with Drakia, actually. So now facing off against his former teammate. We do have Drakia. Oh, actually, the double snails coming out into Quacker and Isolde. With only a looter added, this could be a leak for Genom, but not a big one.
Quacker can have some leaking openers. Not sure what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he doesn't go to Shroom, then he's probably fine. It just so I don't know how do you say it, but when I have a 5 worker opening, and I just want to go for it, so I don't blame him if he goes for the Bashroom.
Drahir
he's
is
going
a
for
really
the
strong role for the lock-in random, in my opinion. Like it's so good
definitely,
early
yeah.
game.
Yeah, really good early game with that Gate Guard and the Atom, of course, and then the Nekomata to cover your Arcane Waves. Really, really solid random lock-in roll, so he's going to be off to a good start. And there is the Chaos from Lucy as well. And you know why, guys? It's because we have 3 buff spells, so again, Lucy really opting to play for that late game. I'm just kind of surprised that Drakia didn't go Castle, actually, when we see those 3 spells.
I'm surprised that we see double Chaos instead of redraw.
Yeah, true, because redraw is available for them.
Mm-hmm.
Drakir and Lucy have a slight worker lead here because they were both able to push to 5 workers. Drakir actually perfectly having the gold to do so because of his lock-in random. So that +8 gold coming in clutch.
Yeah, lock-in random really just it's a feels good early mastermind because it's kind of like a combined option for cash out and greed. And the only thing is like you can't really choose your role, but
Yeah. It's more of like a cash out and YOLO, right? Like halfway in between those two masterminds.
yeah,
Because you get a random roll, or like at least a semi-random roll, but you also get that +8 gold.
Yeah.
Alright, so just full income here on wave 3. Nobody really trying to play for leaks at this point in the game, it seems, which is fairly normal, I suppose, in the current meta.
Yeah, if you don't see, you can leak your opponent. You just send it. It was also only 40, so there's like not brute option
Yeah.
in income.
This could be. Oh, okay. He didn't hunt. I was gonna say if Lucy added a third snail and he hunts the rats, then it's gonna be a sizable leak.
Yeah.
Ooh. All good here.
I mean, Drakir's Gateguard is going down. There was no snail added here by Isolde, so that could have actually been a really bad leak for Drakir. Maybe I spoke too soon. You will leak here to just the lizard on its own, but imagine if that snail was added. This 37% leak could be closer to 60.
Yeah.
I'm not
But
sure
it's
if
also bad RNG, right? Gateguard tanking.
Yeah, his Gateguard tanked way too much. Maybe the snail would have changed that. Maybe the snail would have actually been good for him.
Did anybody saw if he could afford the like free stack yet, or he had only 20 gold for the split?
No. He couldn't afford because he went for 6 workers.
Yeah, it's 2 stack on the cats.
Okay, more income comes out. Drakir does full build here, though. He didn't push a worker to that lizard send. So with Isolde now going for a full re here with the lizard and snail, Drakir should be completely fine. And that puts him right back into a very strong position after a little bit of an unforced error there on wave 3. Quacker's receiving a double snail as well, but he's on 300 value with a Gatling gun for wave 4, so he's going to be just fine. Oh, Isolde actually leaking 25% to a single snail, but he's super low value here. Just 250 value on wave 4. Lucy would have been able to add at least one more snail that could have been pretty dangerous for him.
Is he gonna sell for the Pota here, or what is the play for Isolde?
I think the Pota play is probably the best option, right? So you just sell your Pirate Skeleton, drop down that Priestess of the Abyss, and then he's going to be in a pretty good spot. Oh, he's actually selling some tier 1s for a Warp Wing instead. Okay, interesting.
That's interesting.
And
I'm not sure how well he would do if he get a full 80 cent here.
Yeah, this is only a double snail, right? Lucy could have sent quite a bit more, and it looks like he's actually in a spot of bother just to the snail. So once again, Lucy not full sending into Isolde, not respecting his push.
Isolde is so lucky here to not get full send into the board.
I mean, he's leaking 17% to 2 snails. It was the same story on wave 4, right? He got away with murder there. He's done it again here. And if Lucy had just full sent on either wave, he would have leaked pretty heavily. Oh, wow. Okay.
Leak you the Mimic here.
Okay.
Quacker, so that's definitely worth.
We've spent all of this time being distracted by Isolde getting away with murder. We haven't kept our eyes on what Dark Quacker's been doing. This Mimic on 6 is very, very scary. I mean, Lucy is not bad here by any stretch. She has 2 Gate Guards, which are really good on wave 6, and a lot of fortified armor against the Mimic, but I think a send of this size this early on is just almost impossible to hold. Drakir's receiving 140 as well, by the way. But with the Harbinger, he might be okay.
He needs to get a second summon before the Harbinger goes down. Otherwise, it's kind of disastrous.
Yeah.
Ah, no summon.
Oh, no summon. This will be a big leak for Drakir as well. That's 65% for him. But Lucy...
Just holding.
Oh, the Mimic is 18 gold, and Lucy is holding against the 180 Mythium send on wave 6. That is very, very clutch for her, because with Drakir leaking here, if Lucy had leaked as well, this would have been a massive chunk of king damage.
Yeah. And we have king damage on the right side.
Kind of surprised how well Lucy has done versus the Mimic, because I thought that... I thought that getting the Gate Guard upgrade would be better, but apparently you can just spam a bunch of Chain Fist and it works just as much.
It might just be that the Mimic was just not good into Lucy's board, right? I guess Quacker was
Yeah.
expecting the Deep Coiler to be upgraded, but Lucy just drops a couple of Gate Guards instead and a bunch of other fortified units, and the Mimic was wasted. Now, imagine if that was a triple Brute, maybe it would have been different.
He will Giga League to triple bird, but
Yeah.
I don't blame Quacker because he was sending it to board with the... On board he was sending, the Mimic was good, but Lucy just had all the 45 armor units.
Oh, that's chaos for you, right?
Yeah.
Now, with just another round of income send, all the players are going to be completely fine. And yeah, there's nothing much on wave 7 going on, so when do you think the next play is going to come out? I can see Isolde looking pretty weak on 9, but actually Lucy just goes for another round of income here on 8.
Probably just wanted to have the coiler. Huh? No, she's still money. So that's some income.
She just wants income, yeah, just playing for the late game, I guess, with that chaos, which is also respectable, I think.
Lucy's also in like driving spot here. She had the sand on 6, can push the most and have all the gold.
Yeah, she's in a really good position, and look at her income now as well, by the way, 130.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Once you're ahead, you can just you're just allowed to just sit there and just income and chill, and just try to get even more ahead.
Oh, she talking about ahead. Lucy on 15 workers now, compared to 12 from everybody else in the lobby. So yeah, she really is starting to turn her lead into a little bit of a snowball. And with Isolde going for income again here on wave 9. Let's see, does Quacker do the same? He does save his Mythium, he just doesn't have that much of it though, to be honest. We do have a full send coming out this time from Drakir and Lucy with the double brutes of Drakir. Oh, and Lucy pushing all the way up to 18 workers. That's 50% more than anybody else in the game. She's in such a strong position right now.
I was a little bit disappointed she stopped on 15 with this board, but she pushed after she built this ulti.
What a
But
beast.
I really like it.
Isolde, though, he is sniffing the resend. He's staying plus 45 here, getting the double brute, but he has that Firelord edition. I think he's going to be completely fine. That might be very important, though, because his teammate Dark Quacker receiving the 200 send here from Drakir. Having said that, his split tanking is absolutely perfect here for Quacker. Oh, he's doing really, really well. He's still going to leak, but it's going to be like 2 brutes and a single creep. Meanwhile, Isolde, he is holding with plus 45 value. Extremely impressive there from this young man.
Yeah, very good play by Isolde. He didn't overpush after the wave 8 send. He built the Firelord perfect positioning and managed to catch this double bird resend.
Yeah.
It'd be a disaster if he leaked.
This is one of those things where it's like, was it planned, or was it just one of those chaos things where he sees a really good unit in his role, that Firelord, he wants to make sure he gets it, so he's just willing to overbuild a bit much to get that, and as a result he actually gets turbo rewarded by the full send.
Probably mixed of both. He really liked the Firelord with this role, right?
Yeah.
And he could just hunt.
He could hunt, yeah. Fair enough. Another round of income here on wave 10. Everybody just trying to cement their place in the late game, but so far Drakir and Lucy do have a slight economy lead, mainly thanks to all of Lucy Chan's workers.
Drakir is going for the Shadow Dancer build. He probably likes it, but there's only Hero, maybe Battle Scars to support the attack speed buff. Let's see if it's gonna be enough.
Yeah, I mean, Battlescar is really good, but with the how he positioned the Kingclaw, I think the Kingclaw will take all the buffs.
Yeah.
Well, Hero gives attack speed now, right? Yeah, so Drakir takes Hero. And I think that's pretty solid, honestly. He's got a really good hero circle for it with Ocean Templar, good tanks, and then the 2 Dread Knight spots behind.
Yeah, that could be it.
It's only like 4% attack speed or something, but it's It's still attack speed, which is all the Dread Knight really wants. Lucy is on fire now, wave 11, only 25 gold, but Jules is really happy with the way that Barnes Kieran are playing this one, giving them the 64% chance to win.
Quacker is trying to get shutdown gold here. Little cheeky full send.
Yeah, let's see if it works. The Sea Dragon does die very, very quickly there, sniped out by the left half of the wave. And all of Lucy's melee units go to the right. That is the wave 11 single tank curse. The Deep Coiler is tanking now, but it looks like Lucy is just going to be fine.
Oh, yeah, she's fine. She won't greet the hero.
Yeah, and speaking of which, Quacker's actually leaking 42% to no send. This game may be going from bad to worse for the side of Kusa, because this full send into Lucy is just actually kind of disastrous, right? She's able to push even more workers. She's on 24 now. She has no pressure coming in from Quacker, while Drakir is even farming a nice juicy bit of Burt here from the unforced leak out of Dark Quacker.
And we look at the chat.
How did you leak so much? No clue. AFK guns?
I also have no clue. Like, what happened?
It was AFK guns, right? Because he's got this Bone Warrior all the way up here, so I'm guessing the wave was just chilling up in the cave here, and the guns couldn't quite reach.
Oh, God, since...
I'm pretty sure it was AFK guns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But doesn't it mean that he will have the same problem on 15?
He will have the same
Yes.
problem on 15, yep, unless he sells the
If
Bone
the
Warrior.
if the game does not end before 15, that is.
Yeah. Well, the
think he
game
should-
is starting to look quite rough, actually, for the side of Kusa now. Their win probability keeps dropping. Jules giving them just 24% now. And, I mean, that's pretty fair, honestly, with the way things are going. Drakir's build has some insane scaling with the Hero Ocean Templar Circle. And Lucy is just playing Chaos, so... assuming she's going to have some disgusting Hellgate build going on.
The full send into Quacker because he has the guns. He has nothing on this wave. He's just gonna Giga Leak to the Ram. And income send into Phoenix makes sense. We see the full send from Isolde, but this hero looks very strong.
It looks
to me.
really strong, yeah. Even though Dread Knight is obviously not the best unit on wave 13, his other units are pretty solid here, and all the Dread Knight needs to do is stay alive for long enough to get infinite value, right?
Yeah. And I kind of don't like this end. Like, I mean, I get it. There's like a... I don't get it. Why would you send them all? I mean, a Hermit into this. I'd rather just have more DPS, like Brute or...
Yeah. Or even
Robo.
double Robo or something like that. But Quacker, though, the 108% leak, getting absolutely cooked. We were watching the wrong lane, it seems. I was focused on Drakir, who is leaking, by the way, but he's doing much, much better against this 400 cent, 87% there. Now, Isolde will be able to fully cover his teammates' leak, and FC Lucy will be able to do the same. So there won't be any king damage here, but with
Oh.
Quacker leaking way more... Oh, wait, he's not even full covering. Oh, wow. They
I
will
mean,
be
the
getting
whole
king
wave is
damage.
still alive. Yeah. All the golems were still alive.
Yeah. And
So-
not even a small amount. What was that percentage again? It was 108% leak there for Quacker.
Yeah, 108.
And they're now on 69% king HP. Not so nice for them.
Interesting play here. Isolde is choosing to go income, and Quacker is just starving Lucy. He didn't even send last wave. He's saving here. So, what is the plan? Income here into 16?
I guess it kind of has to be 16. Yeah, now Drakir does look very weak on 16. That's true. And Lucy's current build also looks a little bit weak on 16, but we all know what happens with Chaos, right? She's just going to roll Death Caps or Pyros or something like this and just pull a miracle out.
She still
Yeah,
didn't place the hero,
Yeah.
and she's getting saved on.
Well, she doesn't need to, right? She's still on value, so she's not really feeling too threatened. She can still just wait for the perfect unit to put it on, and here's an APS, which is pretty good. Everybody chilling here on wave 14. Drakir very, very happy with this income king send. He's pushed all the way up to 30 workers now. And yeah, everybody does save their Mythium on 15, so nobody is feeling too pressured to skip 15. Although you would forgive Quacker and Isolde because their values are looking pretty sus. Or Quacker at least is looking pretty sus.
I personally didn't like too much that Drakir pushed like with maybe 5-6 workers to the income on 14. Just because if there is a send on 16, he needs to be not only holding his lane but also cover for any leaks on Lucy's lane. So
Yeah,
that
potentially.
push might be like might open a door for Kusa to come back into the game on 16. We'll
Yeah.
see.
And there is the Yozora for Lucy, so pretty good unit for wave 16. Maybe not the ideal, but very, very good, of course. Yeah, and there's those AFK guns that we were talking about, so there will be another leak to no send here on 15 from Dark Quacker. He's leaking the boss +1, that's 42%.
That's just awkward.
That's really awkward, yeah. I mean, his send is massive into Lucy, but she just has so much more value than he does.
Like, why he still didn't sell this Bone Warrior? I don't get it. Like, the benefit, one bone is to get more damage from the boar, but it's not enough to compensate NFA Vulcan hero gun.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not right. And as a result, his Vulcan Cannon's just sitting there attacking nothing until all of his melee units are dead, and we saw what happened as a result. Now, I mean, the sends are big, coming out from everyone. Quacker, of course, he was the only player who skipped the earlier waves. So Lucy, she is receiving the largest send here, I think. But Quacker is just in a very rough spot. He's nearly minus 1,000 value here. So we see 400 into Drakir, that's barely anything. 900 there for Lucy, 700 for Quacker, and a big 700 for Isolde as well. It looks like Quacker is just getting overwhelmed. His build is leaking very, very quickly. The Phoenix tanking really nicely for Isolde. That looks like a hold for him. Lucy, she's leaking as well. That will be a shutdown, but Drakir, not even close. His Dread Knight's still alive, still popping out those clones. He's going to be able to cover as well. So sure, there's 100 gold shot down there out of FC Lucy, but Drakir, he's easily holding his own lane, probably going to full cover in the mid as well. Meanwhile, the creeps leaking from Quacker's lane are overwhelming Isolde's units in the mid. It looks like there will be even more king damage coming out.
The send is once again not optimal into Drakir. Already X got pointed out. You need to send damage into that build,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure that this 400 could make Drakir leak anyway.
No, the send is so small. Like, maybe a double witch is better. But Drakir, with that amount of value, receiving such a small send, is always going to perform really well, I think.
But they are kind of planning back on the power score, and Jules is giving them more like a higher win probability now. Before this wave 16, I think they had like 10%, and now it's 25 for some reason.
I mean, it's because Isolde pulled out the Miracle Hold, right? So he's actually in a pretty good spot now. He's level pegging with Lucy, and Quacker is going for the suicide play here, pushing all of his gold into workers, which says to me they want to try a wave 18 send. And yeah, Drakir's actually not looking great there. But Lucy shifts 440 gold, so she's just going to be completely fine, I think.
And they are
I don't know if they
sending.
go for the send here. Maybe they're okay. I was gonna say maybe they're baiting for a send, but yeah, they had to send because Parker is leaking.
Well, they see this, right? They see Quacker on minus 1,300, and they just think even if you are baiting, you're still going to leak everything because he's so far out of the game by now.
Lucy's having, so
And we finally have the correct send.
Oh, that's interesting. So Lucy feels confident that she can hold or at least do well enough without having to send her Mythium. So she's saving into Isolde, who is by far the strongest player on the side of Kusa, and then maybe tries to kill him on 19 or something like that, while Drakir just goes for a full send here into Quacker, knowing that he's going to leak there's nothing he really can do about that. And of course, that gives Drakir a little bit extra gold to be able to hold against this big wave 18 send coming out from the side of Kusa.
This has to work to have some hope.
Yeah. Drakir receives 760, Lucy receives 1100, so big sends coming out, but Lucy's really strong on this wave with the double Arc Tear, with the Hero Arc of Justice, double Tempest buffed as well. Drakir, the Dread Knight's still alive, popping out clones. Quacker, meanwhile, 105% leak, but Lucy, she's making very short work of this wave. Only one creep left alive, and it won't be very long for this world. Drakir doing the same, and this suicide play has absolutely failed now from the side of Kusa. And of course, with Lucy saving her Mythium into Isolde, they're in such a strong position now to just end the game whenever they see fit.
Probably gonna be 20, right?
Yeah, I think they go 20 as well.
In 20, there is Fatalizers already on the board from both players, so they're not terrible there. But I mean, Quacker is just dead in the water, right? So
Quacker has no value, so it doesn't matter what the units he have.
yeah.
I'm perfect full cover here. Very impressive.
Now Isolde does roll the Badger. Pretty good unit for wave 20 tank ability. He is fully committing into those badges, it looks like. I just don't think it's going to be enough when he receives a 2000 Mythium send out of FC Lucy.
Or what they could do more with the Kingsguard. It feels like it's a wasted spell, kinda. If you're not trying to do like some tricky skip and send more on the other waves. We have the AFK guns once again.
Yeah, incredible. It's just sat there chilling. He will, of course, leak to no send once again. It's not even that small. This is a 42% leak again for Quacker to the no send. And sure, he's going to send a ton of Mythium into Lucy, but Drakir's just going to hold, I think.
If anyone has learned anything from this game, it's do not place boar, skeleton, and gun at the same time.
Yeah, right. The combo is not really working. So again, yeah, Quacker has a fantastic board for wave 20. But exactly like Adam said, when your value is minus 2000, it kind of doesn't really matter how good your units are.
Yeah.
Isolde desperately placing some steeds here. I think he should be upgrading the badges instead. Like, what are the steeds even doing?
Good question. It's a really good question.
Because they're not tanking for his Fatalizers, that's for sure.
And did he add Hades? Because that's a terrible unit on 20.
He did add Hades, so he's maybe hoping for some sort of dragon miracle with all of the steeds, but I think he would have just been much better off upgrading those better badges and trying to make his Fatalizers clear the boss.
Yeah.
Quacker, of course, actually doing extremely well. I came over here expecting to see the boss leaking on half HP, but he did pretty well with those Fatalizers, just a 55% leak. But Lucy easily holding. Drakir, he is also leaking? That was very close, though. 66%, but Isolde, he leaks too. Maybe they make something happen with the Kingsguard? Is it ever?
I think this is over. It's not fully upgraded.
It's not fully upgraded, no. Oh, if it was upgraded, they would have lived there, but... Huh. Though I suppose it would have been one of those situations where you live for what, right? Because even if they survive that wave 20 send, they're just in such a bad position for trying to win on wave 21 plus. But guys, I mean, that's the semi-finals over, so we have got our finalists decided. It will be Rampampam. That's fine and Pavided. Playing up against Barnes Kieran, that's Drakir and FC Lucy. So maybe the final that we might have expected. with two of the favourites showing up here for the grand final. But they've also knocked out two fantastic teams with Double Trouble and Kusa boasting some very, very impressive players. And this series in particular here, this semi-final with Kusa and Barnes Kieran, was very, very close, with a 2-1 victory going in favour of Barnes Kieran, but a very, very hard-fought series indeed from Quacker and Isolde. So those guys should be proud of their performance, and we hope to see them in next month's Nova Cup. But guys, I think we're going to have a bit of a 10-minute break now, give the players and casters time to relax, and then we will get straight into that grand final. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back in about 10 minutes' time for that grand final game. We'll see you there. Goodbye.
Marley.
All right, welcome back, Twitch chat. Welcome back. We've had our semi-finals concluded, and the finalists are ready to go. This clown is very happy. And XGod, what the hell is that?
That is the Halloween mask that I was mentioning earlier, and I see some people in the chat asking me to put it on, so I did.
It's very spooky. And it looks like it has the advantage of not making it impossible for you to see, unlike this disgusting thing that I have on my head. But it's very impressive nonetheless. Solid Halloween performance there, dude. But guys,
Thank you.
enough talk about our disguises. Let's talk about the two teams, because we've got Ram Pam Pam facing off now against Barnes Kieran for the October Nova Cup Championship. And this is going to be an absolute banger of a series, I think. It's a best of 5 now, remember. So a lot of games to go through. And I do think between these two teams there will be a lot of back and forth. I am not expecting a sweep in either direction. I would love to see 4 or 5 games being played. I think if I had to choose, I would probably go in favour of Ram Pam Pam actually this time around.
Oh, really?
I would. Now, I know Drakir and Lucy might be the more obvious choice with all of their tournament experience, but Fine has just been grinding the ladder so much lately. Like, this guy's very often in the rank 1 position. He's playing a lot more than a lot of the other kind of top 10 players. He's streaming all the time as well, and winning while streaming is impressive in its own right, by the way. And I just think like this is their month to shine, you know. So I'm going to call it in favour of Ram Pam Pam, but I don't think it's going to be a sweep at all. I think it's going to be like a 3-2.
Yeah, I would say it's a very dead even match. I think if anything, Drakir and Lucy has a slight advantage, maybe 55 to 45. But most of all, I just want to see a 5-game series where every team just gives their best, and it comes down to the very final moments to decide the winner.
Yeah, definitely. What about yourself, Adams? Have you got a favourite in this matchup?
I'm gonna go with Drak and Lucy, but also like 55%, very, very close. And yeah, but it's also hard to go against Fine and Pavidet based on what we saw in the semifinals. It was like so clean sweep, not struggle. But let's see how they will perform when they will meet some resistance.
Yeah. Let's see. It looks like we've got a lobby available, so we should be getting this grand final series underway very, very quickly. Let's just double check. Yeah, here we go, guys. Game number 1 of this October Nova Cup is underway. The players are ready, the casters are ready. Now it's just down to the players to decide who is going to be your champion. Let's find out, guys, as we go into this game number 1. Let's go!
Let's go. Scaling spells with 1 aggressive. That I would lean to go for scaling mastermind in this lobby. Let's see what players think.
I'm just adjusting my scoreboard. I have the teams on the wrong side. That'll kick in next wave, guys. And yes, so again, it's a pretty scaling Legion spell lobby, but this time around there is at least 1 aggressive spell there with the press the attack.
Yeah. You know what I already like? It's the lock-in Poda. They finally realized that there's a sorcerer on the board, and Poda is just the perfect unit for it. So locks in for that, and see if you can make it work.
Yeah.
It worked very well in the semifinals, but what I see is Lucy with looking Tempest.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting.
Not a very good synergy in the role.
I mean, basically no synergy, right? Like, sure, Canopy's flying, but it's not really the Tempest Leviathan synergy that you're looking for, I don't think. She has re-rolled already, though, so let's see if she finds anything better.
Wait, that's a lock-in Tempest?
That's a lock-in Tempest.
Yes, a lock-in Tempest.
I mean, look at her monuments, dude. This is Lucy's trademark unit. She's a very big Tempest fan, and she is rewarded with the reroll. She picks up that Halo, which pairs very, very nicely, of course, with the Leviathan buff. We saw her clapping with it in the 3rd game just played, and it pairs extremely well with the Great Boar as well.
Yeah, and the Canopy is a Arcane tank, so everything she needs is in the role.
Meanwhile, we have Drakir on the YOLO opening with this Sakura. Let's see if his hips will lie or not. He's re-rolled already as well, so I'm not sure if that's his final roll or if he still has it open, perhaps. But his roll is not exactly perfect, right? He definitely has some late-game options there with the gates, but his roll just doesn't really tie together very well, I don't think.
He's not the Aura unit, right? That's the missing, but I think he's quite fine. Like, he has the tree and the PV as a support, and then he can go bank for for 7 and push Vorkis, so it's not that bad.
His mid game is kind of awkward, no? I feel like.
Yeah, I think
I see like bait 14, for example, and 15 might be problematic for him.
yeah, definitely. 16 as well, right? Like, what does he really
Mhm.
have for 16?
So basically, all the waves are bad, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see.
But it is YOLO roll, so for YOLO roll, I think it's still
It's
good, for
playable, yeah.
example.
It's definitely a playable YOLO roll, but this is Drakir we're talking about. Normally, when he presses the YOLO button, he gets Priestess Mask, Berserker, and Mudman or something like that. Okay, so Lucy receiving the biggest send here with the triple snail. She is pretty decently undervalued there on 235, but the Shroom is just so strong on wave 3 and even perfect split tanking here with the Tempest. She's going to do very, very well.
Yeah.
Oh, the Shroom is actually still alive. That's just a hold.
I mean, it's
Baby
Tempest expert.
Baby leak. 16%. Exactly, yeah. I mean, if you're going to have 10 very shiny ruby Tempests, then you need to know how to make the unit work, and she definitely does.
But Pavidit is 8 Vorkis. Can he punish this opener on wave 4? Because Lucy is very weak here. He is overbuilding because of that fact, so she's gonna be fine, and then she can push.
Yeah, he also doesn't quite reach like the Dragon Turtle either, so the send just wouldn't be enough, especially against that overvalue from Lucy.
But is this fine? No send?
It's probably fine versus a no send.
Yeah, he's gonna get away from the big league, I think.
But only 3 chicken going to the right. I don't know, maybe the Fizz is thinking too much.
He's gonna
Yeah.
still leak, right? No send.
I mean, it definitely wouldn't be fine against a yes send.
We see also
fine
here.
leaks 58% to the DT Snail and Pervided. Oh, this is pretty close. He's leaking 2 creeps there to no send. Imagine if Drakir had just sent 2 snails.
Yeah, they got away from the murder, and like we see like kinda how to say struggle, because we saw on the semifinals that these leaks were Johnny with Saturn Sting doing, and now Fine and Pavidit are leaking and giving all the extra gold to the enemy team here.
And the important thing is they were doing that while sending themselves, right? Like, maybe that long wave is okay if they're saving their Mythium and they can send 100, 120 here on 5 or 6, but they're just income sending as well.
Yeah, and on Drachir already have more than 100 Mythium, so he can send maybe 3 Brutes on wave 6, and Pavidit is in trouble.
Yeah. Now, Pervided might be able to reach the Giga Breaker on wave 6, which should do pretty well. But yeah, Drakir is definitely going ham on him here. He's got that Brute already on the field, the double Brute. In fact, Lucy going for a Brute of her own. So, Pervided, you're going to have to find an answer here. And currently, it looks like he doesn't quite have the gold for that big Oathbreaker. Yeah, he's 13 gold short.
Even if he sell, he doesn't have gold, but I don't think it would even work, because like this thing will take all the aggro from the left side. Two birds on it, there is no split tank, so I'm a little bit worried about Pavidit here. He's probably rolling for something.
He's rolling for something, but what can he even find? Okay, he does get the Berserker, and he can sell the Proton to build that, so that's something at least. But I think he's still leaking here.
Probably not enough to hold. Especially given that, there's 2 snails added as well.
We do see Fine having fixed his Priestess position from the other game that we watched. He tanked 2 here, but 2 still won't be enough. That's going to be a little bit of a leak there for Fine. Meanwhile, his teammate, the Berserker, was a very clutch find in that reroll, but still not enough. That's 66% for Fine, 49% for Pervided. And again, guys, we're going to see a ton of king damage being dealt on wave 6. Lucy, the only player to hold.
And Lucy is pushing, only person holding, good build for next waves. So she will be snowballing a little bit here.
She's in a really good spot, yeah, really, really good. Ram Pam Pam all the way down to 60%. King HP. Jules very, very happy with the way that Barnes Kieran are playing this one.
some interesting resend. I mean, to see some resend into the Sakura, that is to be expected. But this resend on Fine, the Poda positioning looks just perfect. I feel like you might as well just even if it's Poda's, conventional, traditional bad way for Poda, but positioning, I think she will just tank
It
enough
should
to
tank
survive.
nicely, yeah. It tanks
Yeah.
everything on the left. That's going to be really good split focus. I think he's just going to be fine. But so will Drakir, right? It's only Brute and the Lizard, and I think Drakir is just going to do pretty okay. Lucy, of course, she's holding. She only receives a Fiend and King Ups. Drakir? Oh, fine. I mean, with a 7-stack cat, he's
Not
just
very
holding.
close.
He's just holding.
Okay, yeah, very close.
Yeah, very, very clutch Nekomata there, snacking on all of those little blobs. And Drakir does leak, but it's only 2 small blobs and a lizard, so nothing much to write home about there. But again, Lucy just continues to grow her lead. She has 13 workers, very, very strong income count as well. Saving her Mythium here, okay.
Almost everybody's saving the Mythium, probably targeting the 9 cents.
Yeah.
But Drakir, he did lose 2 stacks on Sakura because on 6 he leaked and also on 7, so that is
Oh,
truly
true,
value that
yeah.
is just lost. Yeah.
Yeah, so even though it was a tiny leak on 7 for Drakir, that lost Sakura stack, it makes it a bit more consequential, right?
Yeah. And he might even lose another stack here if the aggro is bad.
Well, the
Let's
Sakura's
see if he
tanking
loses
a
another stack.
lot.
Should survive.
Yeah,
Perfect
should
tanking.
survive, and that should make him hold, right?
I think the most important stacks are on Sakura when you leak it on wave 2, because then you don't have the thresholds for
Yeah.
4 and 5.
Yeah, if you leak it on
it's
2
okay.
or 3, then you can leak it basically every way for the rest of the game, right?
I see some big sense with one wave skip. Let's see if the players can prepare this. Fine is probably reading the possibility of 10 cent, but he's gonna get sent here.
There's not much he can do either way. His gold is looking a little bit ugly there with 300, right? And all of his good units cost 200.
Well, he could probably go for the antler,
Yeah.
and cat, but
Yeah, it is kind of awkward. There's like nothing else to add other than a cat. So
But Lucy's receiving a 200 send of her own, so she has something to deal with as well. The Brute is rushing down. The Canopy actually tanking extremely well. Does go down now. That will be a leak on Lucy. Let's check out Fine's lane. He's doing well, but that's going to be a pretty big leak for him. And yeah, 71% for Lucy, 69% for Fine. Very, very similar leaks, very, very similar sends. We do have maybe enough left in the mid for Pavida to cover. And same for Drakir. So again, no king damage being dealt here on wave 9. Which I guess... Oh, actually no. Pavida didn't have enough quite to cover, so there will be a little bit more king damage. And Rampampam, they were already behind in king HP.
yeah, and also this league is like different and good for Lucy, right? She had like 3 more workies and she leaked Fine, so even though she leaked, she got the gold back
Yep.
from leaking the Fine. So Fine is gonna struggle a little bit.
Yeah. Well, of course, Fine got less gold because it was Pavided who leaked Lucy. We can all thank Bert for that one.
Thanks, Bert.
Thanks, Bert. Now, everyone is skipping wave 10, so they do want to threaten the Venture possibility because Press the Attack is on the table, and that makes it a lot harder to take Venture, especially when you skip on wave 10. We see Income Snap sent here by Drakir. I wonder if all of the other players just go for the same play as well.
There should be no sense because there's Venture in the game, of course, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes it impossible to send on 10, right?
Yeah, pretty
it's
much impossible
actually
to send.
illegal. The button is like grayed out. You can't click on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's disabled, it's like embargo when you can't send on 12.
Yeah. Okay. Everyone just goes for the income. So probably not really expecting any big leaks here, but at least the threat does look like it has scared people away from Venture because, well, actually, Pavidad and Drakia might be
Don't
thinking
do
about
it.
it.
Don't do it. Okay, he's not doing it.
Pavidad on the Sorcerer, putting that on the Millennium. That's an interesting Sorcerer target. I don't know how I feel about that one.
I think Drakkar could afford going for Venture. Not sure.
But he goes Sorcerer as well, placing it on this banana bunk. So we have 4 Sorcerers, no press the attacks, and no Ventures.
Yeah, everybody's playing around the PTA and nobody is picking it, so everybody took the Income King and defensive spell.
It's more like the threat of it happening rather than it happening. You know, it's
Yeah, I think all the players did pretty well to skip there on wave 10, threaten press the attack as an option, and just making sure that none of the other players can afford to go for Venture either.
But you know, personally, I think rather than, I mean, Sorcerer on the bunk it's fine, but Sorcerer on Millennium or Doomsday, I feel like it's really not the best. I personally probably just go for PTA and go for marking ups because it does give you 85 medium, which is like around the 25 income if you do it on the king ups. I don't know if this is worth like more than 25 income.
I actually never saw this, so
I mean, it does something, but it's definitely not the best Sorcerer target, right? Now, interestingly, Rampampam's King is just continuing to heal, right? So they did lose a lot of HP in the early game, but they also have full regen upgraded, and with this kind of slow-paced mid-game, it is favouring them a little bit. They are getting back into the game somewhat.
yeah, it looks like 14 cents gonna be forced a little bit. Not sure if the Drakkar can skip 14 with this build.
Yeah, Drakir looks super weak there, right? I mean, he's going to have the Sorcerer Haven, which is actually very good on 14, and some decent tanks with the Peewee split, but I think he's also just going to be decently undervalued. And meanwhile, Pavidad, very, very strong, of course, on wave 14, with the Sorcerer Doomsday Machine, going to clear up.
Yeah, I wonder if it's gonna be Income King for Drakkar or he's gonna try to full leak it. And what else we can see? Lucy is strong, fine is fine.
Fine is fine, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Drakir shifted here, so he very much knew that the Send was not coming on 13. In fact, he both upgraded the Banana Bunk and shifted, so clearly playing around wave 14. And there is full income coming out from Drakir and Lucy, with a proper Send coming out from Fine and Pavidad. So they have to make something happen here if they want to get back into the game. And look at this probability, by the way. Jules is really starting to go back into Rampampam's camp, but I think everything's going to come down to this Send here now, guys, because if they get some good king damage in here, I think Rampampam are going to be favoured after this wave. But if Drakir and Lucy just hold, and by the way, Drakir's plus 100 value, well, that's going to be a different story.
Yeah, but he has like 1,000 value in like really, really shitty units.
The build is very bad, but the value and the source is good, so let's see what wins.
Don't underestimate the Sorcerer Haven. This thing's going to deal some real damage here on 14. In fact, we can bring up the damage tracker and just follow this thing. Yeah, I mean, it's just perfect. It's perfectly tanking the left side of the wave. It still survives. It's doing infinite DPS. I mean, this is just looking fantastic here for Drakir. He's even sniping the Ogre. This is just an easy hold for him. Look at that. Banana Haven, 11.5k damage. Lucy actually the one to leak.
Yeah, so now I wonder if it was a good play by Fine and Pavidad, because they definitely could skip the 14 with the Doomsday. Yeah. I think that it was easy to say that they are not in the trouble on 14, right? And they could pressure 16 cents because the Drakkar and Lucy both look weak.
Yeah. But Drakir's just in such a strong spot now. He's sitting pretty at the top of the power score table after that big hold on 14. And yeah, look at that win probability, back 65% for Barnes Kieran. It really comes down to Drakir's hold there. I think if he'd leaked decently, Rampampam would be in a super good spot. But, I mean, clearly he was too strong.
The problem I see in Dracul is only late game, like 2021. He's gonna struggle, but that's way too many waves before it.
Yeah,
But if the Fine and Pavidit can get there, maybe they have upper hand with
Well,
the rolls.
Fine and Pavida both pushed decently here. I think they're going to try for a 16 play, but Drakir and Lucy both shifted gold, and actually they're not going to be caught unaware. They're going for a send of their own. Yeah, they see
does
the
make sense.
values, right? They see the values on Fine and Pavida, and they just don't want to risk it.
Yeah, I mean they are weak themselves, so it makes sense to protect the wave here.
Oh, there we go. The first honey bear.
The honey bear, let's go.
Is it gonna be the last unit?
I mean, he can
It's
send
good
two,
here.
right?
I feel like it's not even that good here because I mean, yeah, you have Tempest, Leviathan, but it's
This
not like
seedlings, X-God. Come on, man. This is like a full AoE build.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow the honey bear here.
the honey bear tracker. That's
Yeah.
Or does he reach the mole as well? I think he does. But, I mean, the values are looking very much in favour of Barnes Kieran here. Drakir basically on value, Lucy not too far behind, while Fine and Pavida both minus 700. There's the bear. Let's watch it go. Oh, it's alive.
It's
gonna
do
pop
nothing.
now. Oh, it healed 2 creeps.
Yeah, like all the left side died, and then the right side was full HP, so it
Yeah.
kinda did nothing.
Yeah, Lucy still
it was a
leaks,
DPS
but
bear.
Fine's leaking
Okay, it was a
57%, Pavida's leaking 78%, and as expected, Drakir easily holding with this big gate still alive, able to clean up some of his teammates' leaks in the mid, while Fine and Pavida, that King HP that they've been working so hard to regenerate over the last 10 waves, is now dropping very, very low once again. I feel like if you're going to send honey bears on 16, you need to send 2, right? And then have 1 heal each side.
Yeah, I guess, but I feel
Should
like
be sent
overall
into
it's
AoE
Yeah,
as well. Like I don't think those Tempests are enough to
Yeah,
justify it.
fair enough. But Drakir is in such a good spot now in this game, number 1, guys. He's on 100 gold shutdown. He's miles ahead on the power score chart. And like you were saying, Dams, his roll does fall off on like wave 20 plus. But does it matter when he's so far ahead? Oh, I see.
I think it matters, but
I see
I'm not sure if
something
it
very
matters in this game.
see something very interesting now. Fine shifting 700 gold here on wave 17, trying his best to bait a wave 18 send. And I think the bait is going to be successful because he's actually leaking half the wave here to no send. And yeah, look, Drakir and Lucy, they've already sent. That's a 50% leak from Fine, as expected. The question is, can they afford to skip here? Because I think he leaked a decent bit more than he wanted to there.
I think they
the
have
bit
to skip.
The bit only works if you survive the send.
Yes.
And they might not survive the next send.
There's a very good chance that they don't survive here, yeah. Even with the full build now, after the 600 gold shift, Fine is still going to be more than 1,000 undervalue, and Pavida, I mean, the same story, actually. Well, this is a little bit rough here, guys. How many king upgrades? They're shy a couple. I think they should, at the very least, finish upgrading that king. I mean, you're minus 1,300 on both players here. They do finish the attack and the spell upgrades, but the sends are pretty large. 680 for Fine, 880 for Pavida. Very nicely tanking Azeria, though. Does perfectly survive that 1 creep on the left. X-God is unsure in a rainbow of colours. That's impressive. Oh, the Azeria is still alive. This is really good positioning from Fine, despite being minus 1,300 value. But his teammate leaks 95%, and the perfect positioning also not enough for Fine. That's a 33% for him. But with the leak of his teammate, I think these guys are donezo here on 18.
Yeah, it's too many creeps.
Unless
No.
It's close. It's
it's
close.
close. GG's. Barnes Kieran taking game number 1 in style. So that's their YOLO and lock-in being used by Drakir and Lucy. So also interesting is that they have taken out 2, what I would say, pretty high variance masterminds. From their pool. And this is really important in Conquest format, guys, because now they have some more stable, some more consistent masterminds available to try and close out the series. Whereas if you go straight in with your best masterminds, like your Cartel for Lucy or the Castle Chaos pair that we've seen them use so well, well, now they don't have it available for the rest of the best of 5. But like this, they've taken 2 very high variance masterminds out, one with them straight off the bat, and now they have those consistent options available for the rest of the games. Fine and Pavided, I mean, of course, they still have everything available, so that's still good for them. But they're going to need to spice things up a little bit, I think, in game number 2, if my prediction is going to come true.
Yeah, they made it hard for themselves on the after wave 4, kinda, and then 6 as well. Get nothing in return, and then the 14th
I was looking at the graph, and basically wave 4, it was like the turning point. Like it went from a even game to give like a slight advantage to Drakir Lucy, but just from there they kind of snowballed.
Yeah, definitely. And if there's one team that knows how to turn a snowball into a victory, of course, it's Drakir and Lucy. So even that small edge that you mentioned on wave 4, they can, over the course of a few waves, they can turn that small edge into a pretty sizable lead. And that's pretty much what we saw them do here. Now, I got to say fair play, because Fine and Pavided, they definitely had a good shot at a comeback there. They were regenning their King HP almost back to full. And that bait play was pretty spicy, actually, to try and force the 18 send there for Fine. The one problem is his Azeria died way too quick on wave 17, so he got no value from that big unit, which was also his sorcerer, by the way. And then as a result, we saw him leaking 50% to no send. That's quite a lot of lost gold on wave 17. I think by that point you're already getting basically no gold for your leaks. So let's say he loses half of the gold of wave 17. That means he can maybe build one less Berserker on wave 18 or something like that, right? And we saw he damn near held on wave 18 despite being minus 1300. So if he had somehow managed to, he's probably never holding 17, but let's say he leaks 1 or 2 creeps instead of 6, maybe things can be a bit different there, and their bait could have worked. And that's the kind of margins that decide games at this level. But guys, enough waffle from me, because the players are ready and game number 2 is here. Let's go.
Again, we have the scaling spells, and we see Stochastic Redraw. Makes sense to me.
This is such a sign of the meta, isn't it? When you get double castle redraw being picked in an overcup game, like everybody's just expecting the game to go super long, and there is that chaos pickup on FC Lucy as well. So we've seen these guys use the pairing very, very well in the group stage yesterday, and I'm excited to see how they make it work here in the grand finals. Adams, obviously, as the resident chaos abuser, how do you feel these masterminds pair?
Castle and Chaos?
Yep.
I think they want to achieve a little bit the same, so I think the pairing is very good. They want to have clean early game, not leaks, and just get to the late game with the OP rolls. But also Fine and Pavided is doing exactly the same, so
yeah,
let's see how they can utilize it the best. And yeah, you just want to have something solid on the start and just adapt.
Yeah. So we probably expect a little bit of a resident sleeper early game. I don't think either side are going to go for many overly aggressive plays. It's more likely that the sides are just going to try and stabilize their economy throughout the early game, push as many workers as they can, go for a lot of income and king upgrades, and like you say, just try to coast to victory with the strongest late game possible. That's what I think when I see these masterminds being snapped up.
Mhm. Dracul role, not sure about that role, how I feel. He's kinda missing some proper tanks.
Yeah.
He's the squishy units, but he still has the reroll, so
I
he
mean,
should be still fine.
the Howler and Sunfang is honestly not a bad tank, and it does cover the weak waves, which is, you know, like wave 12, wave 16, pretty decently, I would say. And then he still has his reroll, of course, so maybe in the late game he can find something really good for 17, like a Banana Bunk. And
Pavided role is not that good late game.
no, for sure. Still has his reroll available as well, though, so maybe you can hope for a little bit of luck. And then, of course, with the Chaos and the redraw players, we can't really comment on their role too much because they're just going to have basically everything available to them at some point in the game.
He can have whatever he wants. He wants these things. I would not go for it, but he
Yeah.
probably knows what he's doing.
That's some interesting positioning there from Fine. Let's see if he can make it work. I wonder if this thing ends up tanking the split. It does, wow, okay, really nice positioning there from Fine. And yeah, it looks like everyone is just chilling here to the income sends. We have got Lucy going up to 7 workers, but so is Fine, actually. So it looks like a complete mirror currently between the two teams, with the two Castle players slightly behind on 6 and the two Chaos-esque players on 7. Oh, but actually Drakir goes up to 7 as well. Okay. We are kind of following that game plan that I expected, at least so far, by wave 4. Players are going pretty income heavy, with a decent amount of king upgrades thrown in the mix as well.
I wonder how Drachir gonna utilize this passive on the Howlers.
Oh, really good point, actually. It's quite a tricky unit to place, I feel. You really need to maximise the use of that passive, and only really top 10 players know how to do it. But Drakir, fortunately, is a top 10 player, and yeah, that passive usage looks perfect to me.
Yeah, it works.
Pretty spicy. Fine, meanwhile, leaks 33% to the DT King Up. So that's something. That's a bit of gold going over in favour of Lucy, at least.
And we see one brute coming from Pavidet. Is it gonna work?
Well, Lucy will be under value. Oh no, she adds the Sea Dragon as well. Okay, she's basically on value, and Sea Dragon, of course, really, really strong on wave 5. If she can make this tank the boss.
It should tank the boss. I think she's fine. Maybe she leaks the brute, but that's also fine.
Yeah, it does tank the boss. Yeah, absolutely perfect there. And the Sea Dragon plus Atom very quickly killing the Scorpion King. Sea Dragon perfectly surviving, even with enough HP left to continue healing the rest of Lucy's units. So she's going to be absolutely fine, I think. It does die now before the Atom. So yeah, I think you're exactly right, actually, Adams. She's going to leak the Brute.
Select the brute, yeah.
Everybody else is holding to their income sends, and Lucy just leaking a half HP Brute, which will be cleared up completely by Drakir in the mid.
Yeah, Lucy took advantage of this, pushed 9 Dwarkies, so even she leaked. It's not that bad because she was the highest Dwarkies, so it will compensate for her.
Yeah, and actually Drakir and Lucy are starting to save their Mythium, which I've been led to believe is illegal in the current patch, but we'll have to see. Are they going to make something happen? Maybe it's hard to do something on wave 7 because Pavided is super, super strong there. Fine, not as amazing, but with the Harbinger potential, very, very strong. So I wonder if they just go straight to wave 8. No, they do go for the 7 send.
I'm surprised I see the brute. I would expect them to go income.
Yeah.
On 7.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because their board it's already like very strong versus like if anything they're weaker on 6 than 7, so
yeah.
Keep on 6 and bring 7, not really what I expected.
And
But birds are hard to hold.
That's
if
true.
Fine is not gonna prepare for it and expect it, he is gonna leak to it.
he is. He will add a slime mummy, it looks like.
He is preparing for the maybe magician. I'm not sure about this positioning for the
Yeah.
later game, but
Let's see how she tanks now, because it's very important for this slime mummy to get full mana. Lucy does add the robo as well, so that's 160 full power send coming out into Fine's lane. Slime mummy though, she is getting to the mana, or is she? It's close. No! Dying there with 14 mana, that's pretty big there. Fine. If she had reached 16, probably would do extremely well, but as a result, he's leaking decently, in fact.
that's
Oh, the brutes, my god.
big
Wow.
mistake by Fine, in my opinion. Here, he should be able to like almost halt, or yeah, like if the slime mummy has the full mana, I think he's just leaking maybe Brute or holding fully.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
if he just put it a little bit behind, I think he will do a little bit better here.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. And that's a
Just
lot
like
of gold
no
going
reason
over
to-
to Lucy, who was already in a pretty strong position.
There's just like no reason to put it in the middle and risk it not getting a full mana split, right?
And it's gonna be very hard to get full mana on the other waves. On 7, it was the easiest to get the full
yeah,
mana.
exactly. So it's only gonna be worse from here.
Yeah. I mean, you can still
So,
put
no,
other
like-
tanks in front, right? But for now, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But
you
then
just
you're
gonna
kinda-
wanna utilize it
Yeah.
when you have it. Right?
Yeah. Oh, well, here at least it's going to get to full mana against the income send, so wave 8 Fine will be able to hold. They've been saving a little bit of Mythium themselves, or at least Pavided has. Lucy not looking fantastic on wave 9, so I wonder if he's going to try and make something happen here.
She can have the bank and the slime siren. Like if we look at Lucy, like she has the perfect slime siren positioning.
Yeah,
It
really.
should always have the full mana, and then tank for the DPS range units.
Tucked into the wall. She's actually not respecting wave 9 at all, or at least she values having the Starcaller more than having the bunk in that chaos role, which I can kind of understand, honestly.
She's kind of playing around the Drakh here, I will say, because he's completely fine here,
Yeah.
and he is weak on 10, but he has the passive.
Oh, he does have the passive,
Howlers
you're
for
right.
10,
Yeah,
so-
yeah. That's going to one-shot the boss on 10, right?
Yeah.
Drakir and Lucy, they did go for Income King here, and Lucy changed her mind and went back for this Banana Bunk, it looks like, rather than the Disciple. But Pavided and Fine, they did save their Mythium. They have a very large send coming out on wave 10, if that's what they want to go for.
And Lucy changed her mind. She built the bank and
Yeah.
not the disciple, but now she just rolled a Berserker
Oh.
anyway.
Ghost Knight. Interesting. Fine with the Ogre into Drakir. That looks very solid, I think. Oh, but they both have
Both
this
abusing
Berserker.
the Howlers. Holy.
Holy, that passive is going to make very short work of the boss. And the Berserker is just there for moral support, it seems, because with 6 Howlers on both boards, this Grandier has no chance.
Let's watch the Lucy, because I think the Ghost Knight might work. Like if she gonna focus it with some units and with some units boss, it can
Yeah.
end up very bad for her.
Let's see if we can watch both lanes. This is 260 Mythium from Drakir.
Okay.
300 for Lucy. She's killing that Ghost Knight very, very quickly, though. The Howlers go, oh! And the Ghost Knight goes down. The Slime Mummy, though, didn't get to full mana, and now her Berserker is dying to the boss, while the Banana Bunk is just sat there doing nothing. Drakir almost holds the boss, leaking 60% there, and Lucy, she leaks as well, 45%, so they will get a decent bit of king damage done. But remember, guys, this was a 300 Mythium send here on Lucy. I think they were hoping to get a little bit more damage than this.
Yeah, but we're still gonna have like 25% king HP, so that's like decent, not too bad. And but I'm just not sure if that starve is it's worth to If like the 25% King HP is worth the Starfall this time.
Hmm.
But I understand that they tried, like they fell a little bit behind on wave 7, right? And they tried to
They
come
need to
back.
try and make something happen. Yeah, you're right. But
I
Drakir's
mean,
in a
at
really
least-
good spot now. Like, look at his income.
Yeah, I mean the castle buff kicked in, and
Yeah. But Pavida's cancel as well, and he's still like 24 income behind Drakir, while also having less workers.
but he took Drakir took Vampire. I don't. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, he really wants
Oh
to
my
use
god,
that passive.
that's interesting. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that really is interesting, actually.
I mean, unless he plans to upgrade all the howlers there, I don't see how much value he's getting out of the Vampire Aura.
I would
Because-
say the embargo would be maybe more
Better.
valuable,
Yeah.
but I guess it's fine as well.
Yeah, look, he knows what he's doing. I'm sure. I'm not gonna question these guys too
Yeah,
much.
Yeah, that's why I said it. But
Yeah.
embargo feels okay, especially when he's sending into this board. He could have
Yeah.
the Mythium on 13.
Definitely. Embargo for sure scales better right into the late game. Drakir pinging his Vampire Peewee here just to make sure that we know.
Yeah. Gonna smurf. I mean, imagine if he buff it.
Oh. A very big Peewee for Drakir. I knew it all along. But everyone's chilling with their Mythium for now. Of course, 2 players on the embargo. Actually, only 1. There is going to be a full send coming out on 13 into Pavided, though, with Lucy just going for income and presumably finishing the king upgrades. That's a lot of Bada Brutes there from Drakir. And Fine and Pavided do save their Mythium. So this, again, is one of those pivotal waves now, guys. If Pavided is able to do relatively well here against this pretty big send coming out from Drakir, then he's in a really good spot. But on the flip side, if there's a big leak, if Pavided takes a ton of damage, loses a ton of gold, feeds a ton of Burt over to Drakir, then things look very different.
I mean, I just don't see how he can do very good in all his damage. It's Pierce.
Yeah.
And usually don't like to send the birds, kinda, when you risk that they get sniped, but this is the board where they should not get sniped. There is no AoE,
Yeah.
and just big units. It's just a very strong send here.
And
I like it.
He's really lacking in damage for the wave, right? Like, he's got some okay tanks with the alpha males, but all of his DPS is Pierce, so he's going to be leaking pretty decently, I think. The saving grace is that Fine only receives Income King, because he could have leaked as well, I think. He's minus 200 value, even with the Doomsday.
Yeah, his tank value is kind of trash, but it was a income king, like you said, so...
Oh, they do go for the counterpunch though, so despite Pavided leaking heavily here on wave 13, it's time for Ram Pam Pam to make something happen. They pull the trigger. These sends are pretty big now, coming out in retaliation for this wave 13 send. We've got Needler Brute from Fine, we've got Centaur Ogre from Pavided. Let's see what Drakir and Lucy do. They are on pretty high value.
Drakir managed to replace his Howlers to
Oh.
put something proper with his Aura. Maybe one more cell for the... Oh, okay.
No, he's still using that passive, so that's respectable, I think. He
should
also has
also-
the tanks.
You should keep the PV, because the PV works well with the Howlers when you boost it. But
Oh, true.
this scent has to work at least decently to give Pavided and Fine chance.
Look at this
But there
Azaria, it's very important. Does she survive? She does not. That is so clutch for Fine. This, as a result, is going to be a decent leak, I think, for Drakir. The Vampire Doomsday, the last unit alive, but the Needler is just destroying it. Let's check out his teammate, because that's a 90% leak from Drakir, an 81% leak for Lucy, and yes, Ram Pam Pam finally with some signs of life. They should be decently ahead after this, I think.
No? Will they? I think it kind of evens out, but the important thing is that they get the king damage, so now can they force the lethal, and also Drake and Lucy can't do whatever they want. They will be a little bit scared, for example, maybe on 17.
Yeah, they
Look
have
at
to play at least a little bit
53,
careful, right?
47. It's almost a 50-50 game again.
Yeah, Barnes Kieran, they do have the fully upgraded king, so the longer it goes, the more health they will regen, and Drakir and Lucy both, of course, have very good late game. Drakir already starting to pop off these fatalizers, making sure he's going to be strong-ish on wave 16.
Fine is building some bazookas to have some option on 16 to get pyros or scared them away from sending 16. Little bit mind game maybe in play.
Yeah, really nice touch there. And Lucy does go for a full send. We have this honey bear coming out with the mole as well. So we'll have to see, do Rampampam go for this send now? Or do they think they're strong enough to skip wave 16? They do think they're strong enough. Okay, this is starting to get interesting now, guys. Will Fine commit to those pyros that he prepared last wave, or was it all just a bluff? It was a bluff. He's actually building a Halo, which is really weak on 16.
Yeah.
Oh no. So they wanted to bait the send, and when they baited the send, they didn't prepare for the swift. Okay.
No, it was
I
like
don't think
opposite. They want to bait not to send them to like he showed the bazookas to not get sent on 16, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah,
he
it was
prepped
that. Yeah.
And then he wants to build for 17. But as a result, he's minus 500 value. He has bad units. This is going to be a big leak on Fine, I think. And they don't have max King Up spell. So if there's big leaks, this could be dangerous. There goes the Honey Bear, healing 2
100 HP healed, right?
Yeah, amazing.
Amazing. Yeah.
Pavida, though, he's much closer to value. He did get one of his guns killed, though. I didn't see what happened there, but Fine leaks 83%, and with only one Vulcan cannon, Pavida leaks 61. And again, guys, they do not have maximum spell upgrade. This is dangerous here for Rampampam. They are going to lose a lot of HP.
They definitely, but they will survive, and they have Mythium and Warriors, so now they have to choose the right wave to heal them.
Yeah, they can't pull the trigger too early, but they actually go straight in with this wave 17 send. I'm not sure about that one, guys. But I suppose what can they do, right? When you already have triple fatalizer vampirism, when you already have these units in Lucy's lane, like wave 18 is looking pretty unlikely. But the thing is, Drakir and Lucy are just on such high value now after those big wave 16 leaks.
Yeah, there was 2 plays, either not push and hold 18 and go 19, right? Or commit to this, but I'm a little bit afraid that they give too much code on the 16 league.
Yeah.
But let's see.
Well, they pretty much need to win here, otherwise I think Drakir and Lucy are going to clutch it. The sends are big though, 900 Mythium into both lanes. However, they have some very strong wave 17 boards, and this time the Azeria is living like a dream. Very, very good split positioning there from Drakir. He's going to do fantastically well. If we check over on Lucy's lane, she is doing phenomenally as well, it seems. In fact, is that just a hold? Drakir, I mean, his Doomsday is still alive. It will be a leak on him, but it's not going to be enough to kill them. Not by any stretch. That's 72%, and Lucy, yes, this looks like a hold for her.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of this send after you leak full on wave 16.
Yeah.
It was just too much gold for Drakir.
Oh no, there's
Lucy
2 creeps there. Lucy will leak. Okay, but it's only a single creep, and yes, this leak is not representing much danger at all to the King of Barnes Kieran, and now they're in such a good spot.
They can still match them on 19 maybe, so...
They do still have more workers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one team is on value, the other one is minus 1,000. So
yeah,
that's the problem.
That is the problem. I would say they also have worse Wave 19 builds, because Lucy and Drakir are both rocking these units, and of course this unit.
Yep.
Both on fire now. not the biggest shutdowns we've seen so far today, but they're in a really, really strong lead, I think. Starting to look very rough. Now, that could have gone very differently if Fine had committed to those pyros, but Adams, I think, read the situation perfectly. He placed all of those berserkers to try and discourage the wave 16 send, and Lucy and Drakir, they were not scared of the pyros. So here it comes, the wave 19 send. They've pulled the trigger. There's the double ram from Drakir, ram shaman from Lucy, Fine and Pavided. Are they going to match it? They will not. That's a very bold skip.
I mean, I think it's more like the kind of skip where you're like, if we send, we don't win the game here, so we just have to skip and pray.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's that
fair
kind
enough.
of situation, I think.
Fair
And
enough.
he's prepping 20.
He's prepping 20, but
Like that value. So
yeah,
not too hot. He has pretty much no damage at all. Like where is the damage on this wave?
yeah. I mean, there just isn't any, right? There's a single Leviathan with a Halo and a Hades, and that's basically it. This is a 920 Mythium send for both players. Both players, 1500 undervalue or thereabouts, and Fine for sure. His build is just really weak here. He's going to leak massively. Pavided is a little bit better there with a triple Gatling gun. This one tanking perfectly well, but it's still not going to be enough. And with only 18% HP on the King, while Fine leaks 85%, Pavided 71, this is game number 2, also going in favour of Barnes Kieran. They have a very strong position now, 2-0 in this best of 5 grand finals.
Yeah, once again very well played by Drakir and Lucy, but I think they missed the Fine and Pavided missed some opportunities in this game. I feel like, I don't know, like he would do better if he probably hide those bazookas and just build it, because the 16 cent was kinda telegraphed.
Yep.
That they want to do it anyway. And then once they leaked, they should probably not go right 17 and just overbuild and try 19. Maybe it will be a little bit higher percentage to win the game.
Well, they would have had a ton of Mythium, right? They would have been sending like pretty much 2k Mythium on 19. So even though Drakir and Lucy have good builds there, it would have just been very, very dangerous, I think. Plus, Drakir and Lucy pushed a little bit. Not much, honestly, off the wave 17's end. So they would have had less workers, they would have had less Mythium to send themselves on 19, and maybe Fine and Pavided come out on tops there. But yeah, this is not the way the game worked out this time around, and we do have Drakir and Lucy in a really, really good spot now with 2 games to 0. This is match point already in the Nova Cup Grand Finals.
Yep, they did show some sign of life, as you guys mentioned. At some point, they were ahead, kind of in the game too, but just some questionable decision making, and now it's 2-0, so they're in a very tough spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Fine and Pavida, they must be feeling under the pressure already because they know they cannot afford to make another mistake. They need to reverse sweep now, which is not an enviable position to be in. You need to win all 3 games in a row. Can't afford a single mistake. And Drakir and Lucy probably feeling pretty good about themselves. So we often talk about morale being a factor in these Nova Cup games. But you guys are both champions, right? So how do you try and steady your nerves and come back when you're in this such a disfavourable position as Fine and Pavided?
You just have to forget about the score and your losses and just focus and treat it like it best of 1, probably. That's the best I would do.
Yeah, we gotta win 1 game at a time. Just gotta do it 3 times.
Fair enough. Well, very wise words indeed. Let's see if the players can put it into action as we go into game number 3.
Okay,
We see against you. Okay, go on.
some interesting mastermind option for sure. I feel like Cartel here, it's kind of like a desperation play because nothing, like the spells they don't really support Cartel really good, unless you're like really ahead after wave 10. But we'll see if you can make the use of the early game income before level 10, wave 10 comes.
Yeah. I mean, Pavided and Cartel, this is his favorite mastermind. This is what he always used to play whenever he could, basically, and it is something that they played very, very well on the June and July Cups that Rampampam did claim the victory with. But I think the meta has shifted a little bit since then. It does favour longer games, and Cartel has, as a result, fallen out of favour somewhat.
Is this a hold or this might be a small leak?
Oh, interesting. I'm not sure. I mean, the Buzz has to tank, right?
Okay, it's tanking.
It's
The
gonna be
Buzz
hot.
does tank. Okay, he's going to be fine.
Yeah. I was gonna say if he didn't add the bus or if the bus didn't tank and he leaks, then it's it's like game over from wave
Yeah,
one.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But there's a bunch of snails being sent out, and there is nobody leaking. So Fine and Pavida, they both receive the snail, so a very, very slight economy lead for them with the +4 gold.
I'm gonna follow a little bit Fine here. I'm not sure about the Tempest. It's the Buckler is the best opener you can do. It's the redraw because you have the old options.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a solid early game tank, isn't it? It's very good value to have that unit in the split. And he can probably just add a Tempest on 3 and do pretty fine. Drakir getting king upped here. Will he go to 6 workers there with the Berserker? He should still be able to add a Slime, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's 2-0 for him. He can afford any risks.
Oh,
so-
absolutely, yeah. That's the other part of being so far in the lead, right? They can afford to play really risky, while Fine and Pavida kind of can't. And when you do play really risky, well, often that leads to big rewards as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like if he was 2-0 down, he will not push 6 workies and play so risky because like now he's just leaking to 2 snails. He's not
Yeah.
gonna get it barely, but like he could, and he would leak quite hard.
Oh, we've got some question marks coming out. The triple snail into Fine. He did add the second Tempest and the second Buckler. Actually, it looks like he's going to be just fine there. X-God is also unsure, but actually Drakir will leak to the single snail, never mind the double snail. 50% there, 44% for Lucy as well. So, Rampampam fans, this game is looking pretty good for you so far.
8 workers.
8 workers per VDED, yeah. Okay, I
Yeah.
mean, he's definitely making good use of this cartel so far.
I mean, it just feels bad when you leak that much to a single snail,
Mm-hmm.
and your teammate also leaks. So
It is pretty bad. I think if it's Polybox, you can't afford it. Maybe it's the Gargoyle, you can do it, 6 workies, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But imagine as well, if that
So-
had been a second snail, he would have leaked really badly. I mean, it was already a 60%. But he did not play risky this time around on wave 4. He rather added the Tempest, and as a result, he gets another 60 resend, and I think he's going to do pretty well. But Lucy, this was a robo sent here. Some aggression coming out from Rampampam. 63% leak there for her. And Drakir, actually, he's not going to be fine. It's going to be a very small leak, but a leak nonetheless. Even more king damage here. Rampampam coming out swinging here in game number 3.
yeah, perfect. That's what we needed, and they also. Let's hope they will keep the lead and keep doing what they do.
Yep. I'm also very grateful for the players giving us something to talk about in the early game other than, oh, and there's another round of Income King. So mixing things up a bit is pretty cool.
In game 2, it was just like Income King for the first how many waves?
11, maybe?
And there's like nothing. There's like not a whole lot going on. but
Yes.
This game, much spicier.
It's also the different masterminds, right? We had the Chaos its castle and the redraw, so it was kind of forced. And
Yeah.
now people can play, and also these teams are brute and enjoyers, so I like this.
Now, there is another Robo coming out, but Lucy definitely sniffed this one coming. She's playing on value. She's going to be just fine. Drakia, though.
Or is she? I mean,
Or is
this-
she? Wow, okay. I thought she would be completely okay here. She's got very good quality units for Wave 5. That's
This
still...
is very
Just
good for
quality.
how we did
Yeah.
11 workies, but Lucy is saving, so it's not the worst for her as well.
Drakia did hold his own lane, doesn't do anything in the mid though. Even more king damage here. Barnes Kieran dropping down to 76%, but here comes the counterpunch. Lucy with the double brute into Fine's lane. Will he be able to hold here?
Fine learned to position slime style run
Yes.
after the last game.
Oh, but he's turning
No,
this
no, no,
into
no,
a
no, no.
into a Seraphim.
No, you can't do that. You cannot do that.
You need the Swift tank. Oh, he's pulling a lot to the right though with this slime positioning.
But I don't know if that's good enough.
Oh, let's look. This is pretty important now. How will his aggro look? The Slime Mummy is tanking nothing from the left side. The Tempest doing extremely good job there, but now
Oh.
it's going to full tank and she will not get to full mana. Not even close. Seraphine's
I
good
don't
damage at
understand.
least.
I just don't understand why.
I mean, if this was the
Devilfish,
Devilfish, then the
Slime
it will
Mummy
tank
would
for
still be
the
alive.
slime. Yeah.
Yeah. Still 49% to a 160 send. I think Fine's pretty fine with that result, right? And meanwhile, Lucy does leak herself to the much smaller resend. Pavided will not quite be able to full cover, though. So a tiny bit of king damage being dealt. Finally, Barnes Kieran shaving off that 100% from Rampampam.
Yeah, but it could have been a full hold or even a almost full hold if it turned into a devilfish. And
Yeah, like
With
the
full
full
mana,
mana and the not full
yeah.
mana on this unit is a lot of value.
Well, it's
Like,
a
so
100
much
gold
difference.
value, right? If you count the
Yeah.
slimes as 50 each. So yeah, it's a ton of value.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure it's the most important thing to get full mana
Yep.
on this bad boy early game.
Okay, we do have another Brute then coming out into Pavided. It seems the teams have had a bit of a conflab in between games and decided let's play this one fast and aggressive, guys. We've had enough of the Income King play. Now, Pavided is minus 100 value, but he does have this Cursed Casket, which is obviously extremely strong on Wave 7. Did get out a final summon there as well. It looks like he's going to do extremely well, if not just hold. Drakia, I mean, he's getting 120
He's
cent, but the
holding.
Tempest is just tanking beautifully there for him. And yeah, with that Slime Mummy on full mana, it's not even close.
The big sand is coming from
Yeah.
Pavided here.
It really is. Fine just going for income this time around. But Lucy, you're receiving a big Bada Brute send. She does go for maybe the best answer, though, with this Orchid. I wonder if she boosts gold into that as well.
I think she have to, right? Why would you build it and not boost it?
Yeah.
What can she do? Like she can add.
Oh, she does. She's fully boosting. She's fully boosting. Okay. Well, that's just going to shred the Brutes.
There will be one DT, no?
There is one DT, but it even goes to the right. So yeah, the Orchid has already killed all of the Brutes. They're all
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, out of the circle.
Oh, Orchid will go down. It looks like Lucy will still be leaking. Or will she? No, the Sky Queen is still alive. I thought that was just an unupgraded Harpy. Easily holding there. Very, very good usage of the Orchid boost. But meanwhile, Pavided feeding shot down against a single DT. That is really not the way they wanted this wave to go. Oh, that's so important, actually. For Lucy to full hold there and Pavided to feed shot down at the same time. This game has gone from incredibly good for Rampampam to probably, yeah, look, almost even again. That was such a
mean-
huge wave 8 for Barnes Kieran.
If they don't hold this sand, it's not gonna be even anymore.
Yeah, true. And Fine
There
is
is big
very
points.
decently undervalued. This time he has some
Yeah.
units in front of his Slime Mummy.
But this is not exactly the thing you want to tank first as well, because you need mana on the Tree of Knowledge. It's
Yeah, true.
I don't understand, why would you not leave this as a tank? It's not even a
It's so
very
bad on
it's
this
not a
match,
good
right?
damage dealer, because it's a range unit, and range wave 9 has counters range unit. So
Well, let's see. This boom tree does go off, and the Slime Mummy
yeah.
has reached full mana for the first time. Seraphim killing them all, so that's why he kept it as a damage unit.
Yeah.
And actually, he's doing very, very well. Does this just hold? And
It is very nice ult.
Pavida, that looks
Almost
like a
hold.
hold to me as well. Well, I guess we can't question Fine's building any longer because that was a very important hold for him while minus 175 value.
Definitely very, very good ult.
Mhm.
So it come in clutch in the end.
Yep.
But I'm not sure if it was difference maker or not. But he ult, so perfect play.
Yep. Absolutely, yeah. That's Flight TV commentary right there. And Jules right back in favour of Rampampam, giving them 76% once again. So a short glitch there with the miracle hold on 8 out of Lucy. And now they're right back in the driving seat, it seems.
Definitely good ult from them.
But he might feed another shutdown here, because he's getting on full send and his units are kind of bad, and 2 columns are
And
dehardened.
dehardened, yeah, he probably will feed the shutdown then. So good call from Drakir to go for the full send with the Hermit here. Will he leak himself though? Because Fine added a Fofon Brute to his Cannoneer send. It looks like he will, not terribly. Oh, he does kill the boss. Wait, the Zeus is going to win this 1v1, right? No shutdowns here. Pavided.
Perfect.
What a beast.
I'll be sad if it was shut down.
Yeah.
To get punished for playing cartel on 10.
Yeah.
Leak and then you hit with the negative income.
And look, Pavided has just taken the cartel penalty, right? And he's still way ahead in income compared to Lucy. While Fine is miles ahead of Drakir as well, so Rampampam are definitely in a good spot this time around, guys.
Hero on the bazookas, okay.
Okay.
I mean,
The Divine Blessing on the LOD, which is
Hey,
they made it so the dragon gets the buff too, right?
that's actually super clutch, right? Now that Hero gives attack speed instead of damage, it makes it way better on Zeus's.
Yeah.
Okay, there is a full send here into Fine, who did go for the Divine Blessing, so he does need to keep this thing alive now. A bit of a disaster if it goes down. Slime Mummy did not reach full mana. Boomtree is going to pop on the wave, though. And yeah, look at that damage,
Yeah,
that's
super.
insane. He's very easily holding the 260 resend out of FC Lucy. Oh, Jules is not happy with Barnes Kieran at all. That was actually a Robo army picked up from Lucy, and Fine, he is ready for the resend. It's only the auto Robos being sent though, so I wonder if Lucy will go on 13 again, or is her Legion spell just going to be completely wasted?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, go on.
I view it as just like one of those lose-lose situations where either option feels kind of bad.
Yeah. When she sees Fine here on plus 70 value, it feels super rough to try and send on 13. But look at this, they're actually trying to bait. So Drakir shifted 300 gold, Lucy shifted 200 something. They want Rampampam to send them on 13. Let's see if they're going to fall for it. Oh, if Lucy leaks no send, I think they might just fall for it. She does.
I mean, they shifted, but they are not gonna be overvalue, or will they be?
Well,
No,
they'll
right?
both have fatalizers, right? And Lucy can boost the Orchid as well. But Fine and Pavida might just think that they're strong enough to skip regardless.
I mean, there's no reason for them to be scared here. Like,
Oh, they're
Fine is
not
playing
scared.
plus value.
Yeah. And he has
It's
that Divine
Hades.
Blessing as well.
Yeah, and this guy has the Disciple, it's the Zeus's.
Yeah. Pavida at least does harden, so semi fell for it, I guess.
Yeah.
But they didn't go for this end.
Yeah. But like they are skipping and then
Yeah.
trying to hold, so it's fair. And then they probably feel that you're gonna win the trade on 14.
Yeah. This just feels so bad for Lucy. Like, her Legion spell is give 70 gold to Fine.
Yeah. She's just helping.
Yeah. I mean, she tried to make something happen on 11, but Fine was decently overbuilt with the blessing on his Lord of Death, and yeah, as a result, her Legion spell completely wasted. In fact, worse than wasted, because again, it does feed a bunch of gold to Fine. And now they went for this bait play. Drakir popped out the Phoenix. They didn't fall for it. They will go for this big wave 14 send on all 4 players, but Fine and Pavida, their value situation is just looking much, much better than their opponents, I think.
Yeah.
You got the baby Kingpin coming out.
The baby pin with the
Baby.
Tree of Life, that's
Oh, okay.
interesting.
It's a big boy now.
It's a big boy now, yeah. I don't know about putting the Tree of Life on a 40 stack Kingpin. It seems he could maybe spend his gold better elsewhere.
I mean, it's still a 5,000 HP unit, right? So it's something.
True.
Yeah.
Fine
sure
is
what
plus
is better, if
69
we
value.
could
Okay, they've
buff the Madman.
pretty much matching sends in terms of size, but again, Fine and Pavida are way ahead in terms of value. The Phoenix is tanking the 4 Eyes, so Drakir will not get the miracle hold there, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Lucy, that's going to be a big, big leak on her. And yeah, Fine is just absolutely clapping there with his Divine Blessing Hades, easily holding the wave. Sure, Pavida will leak. Oh, but wait, did I speak too soon? Drakir! Okay, he's leaking the double 4 Eyes, but a really good performance there for him while minus 300 value. They will survive this, but at what cost? Barnes Kieran are going to be so far behind after this trade. Will Fine even lose his blessing?
I believe so. So if
He's gonna get
anything,
another
no
summon.
more Legion spell for him.
Yeah. Okay, he loses the blessing, but I mean, it's done its job.
It done
They're just
more
too
than
far
it
be-
was
they're
supposed
just
to
too
do.
far ahead at the moment, yeah. For Drakir and Lucy to come back, it's very difficult.
Very, very difficult indeed. Look at these shutdowns. Fines on 100 gold. Pavida's on 75. These guys are way ahead. Jules giving them the 92% odds already. They're in a really, really strong, commanding lead here, which is exactly what we want to see, right, guys? We need to see this best of 5 played out. A sweep would have been very unfortunate, and Ram Pam Pam, they have certainly stepped up their game here in number 3.
What is the play now to close the game? 17, probably.
17 looks good, yeah. Like, Drakir basically has nothing there. Sure, he can have some Samurai Souls, but the rest of his build is dead value there. And similarly for Lucy, right? She's going to have these Giga Breakers, but again, too much of her expensive units are like Magic and Swift.
Maybe
Yeah.
they send here as well. If they see Lucy leaking or playing
No,
under.
she's okay. But Drakir and Lucy, they do go for a little bit of a cope send, especially when they can already see Pavida plus value on 15.
Yeah, it's more like a desperation attempt than anything.
Yeah.
And,
They're gonna be
I-
under value.
Pavida is even hardening one of his golems. What does he want to do? Because he's got 400 gold to spend. Yeah, he just upgrades the Iron Maiden. These units are actually better on 16 now than they used to be. The spell has been changed a little bit. It now reduces damage by 5. So pretty decent, honestly. Oh, the Honey Bear! Oh no!
Yeah.
Sorry, I've changed my mind, guys. This game is over. Honey Bear gonna destroy Fine.
GG.
Alright, let's track the. We're gonna have the Honey Bear tracker.
Oh, Honey Bear tracker. I
And
mean,
it heal
oh.
more than 200.
I mean, it's not died yet.
It's like a DPS bear.
It's a DPS. Oh, now it dies.
Oh.
Oh, it healed like
that's-
400.
That's a lot of heal.
But yeah, Fine is easily holding. Pavida, he will leak, but really not much at all.
If they get 2 shutdown here, maybe.
No, Fine's getting another summon off here. He's easy holding, man. Pavida does feed the 50 gold shutdown, but Fine is able to hold his own lane and full cover in the mid as well.
Big leaks.
And here comes the killer blow on 17, exactly as Adams predicted. We've got the double Four Eyes, double Ogre from Fine. We've got quadruple Ogre from Pavided. Drakir and Lucy, they are both around 1,000 gold under value. Drakir desperately placing down his Samurai Souls, hoping for a miracle. But Lucy, she is so far behind in this game. Even with the quadruple Giga Breaker, in fact, I just don't see her holding here.
The value is just not there. And,
they do match their king upgrades, but they still have 45% HP, so I just don't see it working out, guys. 1300 myth for Drakir, 1040 for Lucy. His Phoenix is tanking very nicely, does survive the onslaught on the left-hand side. His Samurai Souls for sure, good tank value on the wave, but now his Phoenixes go down. That will be a leak from Drakir. And Lucy, this is looking like disaster territory in her lane. That's 108% there. Drakir doing a little bit better, but still 113% leak here. And guys, Ram Pam Pam, they are not giving up on this tournament just yet, bringing the scoreline back to 1-2. Still in favour of Barnes Kieran, however.
Yeah.
And yeah, very well played by Fine and Pavided. Finally, we saw some aggression. The greed from Drakir on wave 3 and Lucy leaking as well, greeding.
Yeah.
They just gives too much edge. They leaked to small sand on 3, followed 4, and then the big holds on 9 by Pavided and Fine, and it was kinda all in their hands.
I mean, this wave 6 for Fine was really good as well, right? This was 160 Mythium. He leaked 2 creeps in a brute. This is pretty good. And then, yeah, like the massive 200 Mythium sends on 9. Game was just really rough for Drakir and Lucy as soon as that went through. So, yeah, really well played. I'm very happy that Ram Pam Pam are showing some signs of life, because I would have been upset with a 3-0 sweep. Let's see, can they continue this streak here in game number 4 that we're going into, I believe, or will Barnes Kieran close their tournament dreams here? Let's find out, guys. Lobby is up. Let me just check.
I was gonna say, interestingly, all the first 3 games follow like kind of like the same pattern. Like one team gets a little bit ahead because of the early game blunder, and they just keep getting more ahead, and they end up winning the game. All 3 games were like this so far.
I mean, yes and no, because this game was also very different in terms of the aggression, right? Like, we saw a lot of very income king heavy plays, I think, for the first 2 games both. And this time around, Ram Pam Pam just really came out kicking and screaming. They went with the Robo on 3, the Robo on 4, the Robo on 5, getting those leaks out of Lucy and just trying to build up that lead, try and shave their king HP down as low as possible. And I think I know exactly what you mean. It's all about turning an early game edge into a late game snowball. But the way that they achieved that edge felt quite different here in game number 3.
Yep.
All right, we have the players ready, guys. We're about to find out, will game number 5 be played at all? This is still match point, remember, in favour of Drakir and Lucy, but it seems like Adams' words of wisdom paid off there for Fine and Pavided. Treat every game like a best of 1. Let's see, can they do it again here in game number 4? Let's go.
Yeah, and definitely after you win like this, you feel more confident. We see the Fiesta already. That's sign of some confidence as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Lucy is also Fiesta, so the Fiesta is good, better a little bit for Pavided, sending to Fiesta. He can snowball a little bit better. But we see also the Cartel from Drakir, so he can also push very hard into Pavided. So
yeah, absolutely. And there's some really good aggressive spells here. There's the Overwork, there's the Robo Army. Villain is okay as a defensive spell, but Villain, I think, shines way more in the super late game, whereas on Wave 11, it's definitely not the best defensive spell on Wave 11, right? It's not the same as a Divine Blessing or a Loan or something like that, I don't think.
Yeah. Especially with like like you guys mentioned, Robo Army and Overwork. I do expect to see a lot of aggression around wave 11, 12,
Hmm.
and so
And all,
far I feel like the build, like their. I mean, Pavidel has a very early game centered role so far, but everyone else seems to be okay going like scaling into the late game.
Yeah.
I also like that this mastermind picks are proving our point when we talk about the masterminds that are tied with the spells, right? Because we had the scaling spells and everybody was picking like Castle and Redraw, Chaos, and now we see 2 offensive spells, and here we go, 2 Fiesta and Cartel.
Yeah, absolutely. So very,
Is this a
very.
forced leak? This is the leaking, right?
Oh, Lucy leaks 42% there with the atoms. This is gonna be a hold though. So Pavided, the Tempest is just too strong to leak on
Tempest
this
OP,
one.
but I'm pretty sure if he built the
Like
Skelly,
Bone
like
Warrior in Narnia or something.
yeah, like down, then it will be a leak.
Yeah. Oh, Pavided has. Well, okay, he's on 6 workers. He's adding a couple of Bone Warriors, which are obviously very good tanks, at least on wave 2. Will Drakia? No, he doesn't reach the second snail. So Pavided might actually just do very, very well here on wave 2. Pavided can send a second snail if he wants to, and he does. Okay, Lucy should be in trouble here to the 40 send, I think.
Like, I don't think Drahir knows that Pavided is Fiesta, right?
No.
Based on the wave 1. Now he might...
He can
Well,
probably
now he
read it
probably
now.
knows.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucy's leaking a lot here. That's 67%. Pavided, I mean, this is just very, very nice to him. 33% there. So sure, he held on 1, but a really tasty Fiesta on 2 out of Pavided. While he has 7 workers, he's taking a very good lead already in the early game. And remember, guys, he turned that into a win in game number 3. So can he do the same thing here in number 4?
There is Robo.
Okay.
So Drahir is knifing something that Pavided is overpushed.
Yeah.
And this Robo gonna work quite well, right? 7 workers, that's too much.
Oh, it's going to destroy him. He's going to be able to add a snail as well. So the 60 send, including the Robo, Pavided should leak like everything here, basically. He's going to kill... I don't know, there should be like a 60-70% leak, I think.
Yeah, and the problem with this overpush is that he's gonna probably leak too much, and he's very weak on wave 4, so he need to be very careful and overbuilt.
And the Robo is straight on the Tempest as well, right? Which is his biggest damage unit for the wave. Oh, this is a big leak. 73% there for Pavided. Now, sure, Fine is able to hold, and Lucy, now it's her turn for the absolute dream Fiesta. 33% against the double snails, while Pavided, as we saw, 73% leak there. A very dangerous Robo from Drakia.
Yeah, I think this is a little bit misstep by Pavided. It's gonna like force him to stay lower keys and still maybe leaking, feeding too much gold. And
Yeah.
Pavided also sent income twice, so he's not applying any pressure.
Yeah, because had he just stayed 6 workers and like added another slime or, you know, Bone Crusher or something like that, he would have just done phenomenally well against the Robo.
Yeah, like if he had like second slime, he probably pro league, and he could also save some Mythium and go big on 4, for example.
Yeah.
So I would think that would be better.
I have to point out that this Pilgrim positioning, I think it's very, very inting.
Yeah.
It's doing fine here, but every wave starting from wave 6, it's gonna be a problem. Like it's good here on wave 5, it's gonna be good, but starting from wave 6, it's gonna be a liability.
Ooh, Tempest does perfectly survive. Fine, though. Now it's your turn to leak. 50% to a single Fiend. Lucy, again, another very nice Fiesta for her. 33% against the DT. Now it's the Fiesta player's turn to cover, with the Pilgrim keeping his units topped up. That should be a full cover from Pavided, and Drakia doing the same for his teammates. So no king damage dealt again on wave 4. Oh, a full resend though, so Pavided may be putting Lucy in a false sense of security with all of those early game income sends. Now he's trying to make something happen here on wave 5. The Brute comes out. Will he be able to afford the Robo as well?
No, just a snail, but Lucy's definitely gonna leak. There is nothing on the board.
Yeah, but if anything, she has enough DPS to kill like most of the wave, I think.
Yeah, and she's Fiesta, so the league must be a little bit bigger than usual, because if it's just Pro League, it's good for her.
Yeah. Yeah, to make it worthwhile, it has to be, 10% more than against any other player. And this split tanking is juicy, so yeah, she's doing about as well as could be expected here. 54% against the Brutes, and is pretty fine, honestly.
I think both sides are happy with this.
Now we have a hold from Fine, but he only received a Dragon Turtle, and Drakir is playing quite safe here with the highest value in the lobby.
Yeah, he's just overbuilding with the stocking some Mythium, so opponents can't push and punish this overbuild, and he can go for Mimic or Brutes on 7. Probably Brutes.
Oh, he's actually pushing pretty hard now. He's gone all the way up to 11 workers. Obviously, that Windhawk power spike makes him very safe here on wave 6. However, Fine did not send here, so Drakir could be in a little bit of trouble on 7 if Fine goes for the full send. The thing is, when Drakir is showing like this, and he was overvalued last wave, Fine might just assume that he's shifting gold for something on 7 and just go income king.
Maybe. Lucy might be pro-leaking here. Not sure. Maybe it will give Drakir Ogre, but he already clicked the Mimic.
Oh, okay. The Mimic into Pavided. Yeah, very, very good, of course, against the Slime Siren build. You always farm a ton of gold with the Mimic into that. And Lucy going for the Brutes as well into Fine. Will Fine go for the aggressive send here? He will, okay. It's a Hermit and a Brute. Hermit to counter the AoE of the Violet. That's interesting, but the Sea Serpent will kill it.
Hermit? Brute? Is the Hermit gonna be... I mean, the Serpent gonna be stacked with the...
If he adds a Robo, maybe I think maybe like the Robo and the Hermit kills the Queller.
I mean, the Serpent is gonna struggle to kill Robo, and true. Then Hermit.
And Hermit as well, yeah, that Hermit's living forever. But this big sends all around, 200 for Fine, 240 for Pavided. This Mimic is doing work, and yeah, Fine, that should be a decent leak on him as well. Look at the split tanking though, that's just absolutely phenomenal for Drakir. He's minus 120 value, and this looks like best case scenario for him, leaking just 46%. Lucy also leaks as well. But yeah, the Mimic here, 42 gold there for Drakir. That is a very juicy Mimic indeed. They're also going to get a decent amount of king damage. I mean, both sides take damage, but I think Barnes Kieran are definitely winning this trade.
There's also this 42 gold in the Mimic, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if you are Pavided, you are probably happy to like just leak the Mimic to 240,
yeah.
and then you see the Mimic with 40 gold.
Yeah.
You're gonna be just set.
Yeah.
But the game is not over yet. So both sides having lost a bit of king HP for sure. Jules is giving Barnes Kieran the edge, but it's only 60% for now. There will be another round of income king. Rampampam putting a couple of points into regen there to try and recover some of that lost HP. Drakir, the only player not sending here, really trying to pressure Pavided now. His wave 9 could be dangerous, wave 10 even more so.
I think the Fine and Pavided might be looking at like big send 11-12. Currently, there's the offensive spells and on those boards, but they don't know that Drakir and Lucy both have Pilgrim and the Bank, so...
Pilgrim and Monk, yeah. I mean, Lucy has other options as well, like a Chieftain buffed Alpha Male, obviously, is very, very strong on 11 as well. But Fine goes for another round of income, and that might just seal the deal because Trakia will be able to turbo push here and just send massive into Pavided whenever he chooses.
Yeah, but they're on the side of Fine and Pap. They're not exactly that weak on 10, right? If that's are
Yeah,
you thinking they're going for 11?
I think with this, another round of income, they can quite easily go for 11. That's where the aggressive spells are, right?
Yeah. And they also protect themselves
Yeah.
from those spells.
Now, if they had... Oh, they do go for the wave 10, but it's only income! Wow, I didn't see that one coming.
So they see them overbuilding with the solid wards on 10 and 11, right? We saw these good units.
Yeah.
So they decided to go for income and
Yeah.
just keep the lead. But Fine is now saving with the Pavided, so it opens doors for them.
It opens doors for them. They have the aggressive options, but Drakir and Lucy, both 20 workers, getting away with murder here. Lucy's minus 300 value, and
I mean,
she's going to be fine against No Send.
if Drakir decides to force a ram here, this is he's leaking everything.
Yeah, he never
Because
kills a ram, right?
he didn't get the Arc of Justice upgrade.
Yeah.
Like, why did he just decided to go for income?
It
Well-
feels a little bit sad to send 400 and
Yeah.
it's income on 10.
The thing is, they know they have way more workers than their opponents, right? When they see them on
Yeah.
1200 value, both on wave 9, they can just cement their lead with all of this income. Now, there is a full send coming out from Pavided, at least. Does go for the overwork play. Fine only going with income into Drakia. So let's see. Lucy, she's minus 375 value. Not an ideal board either by any means. All of these robos should make quick work of her alpha male tank, but the Treant very, very good, of course, on the wave it's placed. 20% damage reduction buff, so a really strong fortified tank here for wave 11.
They are spending gold on Mythium. Okay. I mean, double overwork. If they can get some kick damage and then go like 13 or 14,
Yeah.
it can work for Fine and Pavided.
It's more like they need the king damage though, right? Because they're already
Yeah.
decently behind. So with Drakia holding here, I mean, sure, Lucy's leaking decently, but I'm still wondering why Fine didn't go for a full send here. He could have leaked Drakia, I think.
Yeah, definitely. 280 could be like a couple robos,
Yeah.
a hermit, and some D2s.
And then they could have got some serious king damage. I mean, they're going to get some anyway, but imagine if Drakia was leaking as well.
Yeah, I think I would also like to go for kick damage. Not necessarily Kidra here, but just get the kick damage.
Weaken him, yeah.
It's very important to get some king.
I mean, now their king HP is kind of even, so maybe it's not that bad.
Yeah. I mean, Jules is happy with them at least. He's put them back up to 52% now. They were pretty disfavored before this, so... Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
but now Drahir is having 10 more workies
Yeah.
for the wave. It should be at least past one
Yeah,
if
just
Fine
for
is
this
not
wave.
shifting.
And the villain, of course, so Drakia is the only player in the game who still has a Legion spell basically active. Everybody else is on the
Wait,
downside of
I'm
Overwork right now.
surprised that there's no reset. I mean, look at Lucy's board. If there's a reset, this is full leaking again. Like,
Maybe they just expected her to overbuild, right?
But it's also just so risky. Like if you are resent and Lucy is overbuilt and you are stuck with overwork or even small league them, it's gonna be so punishing because like you spent all your Mythium and then the Drahir and Lucy can do whatever. Like if it would work, yeah, great. But if Lucy overbuilt, it's gonna be kinda GG.
Mm-hmm.
It's just big gamble, kinda.
yeah, and I guess they felt that they're not in a desperate position to gamble.
Yeah. I mean,
Lucy's
it's
pushed
50-50.
decently. Like, look at her value now. She's minus 300. Drakir as well. Fine and Pavida a little bit closer to value.
So now they gotta send 14, I imagine. There's no way to skip 14, right?
I mean, I guess like the Lucy's build looks pretty garbage on 14. Drakir's not much better, to be honest.
I mean, there will be sense here, I think.
Yeah, surely. Yeah, here we go. So the Mimic's coming out from Lucy. Drakir going for Auras, it seems. There's the Centaur from Pavided. And Ogres from Fine. Okay, there's a lot of box Mimics coming out, though. Will these ones feed? Remember, Drakir got 42 gold there on wave 7. I don't think he's going to repeat that here on wave 14.
Not sure about the mimics on Lucy. Maybe she's expecting spam states, but
Yeah.
find it
They're
Haven
pretty
here.
dead value against the Haven, right?
Yeah, but the Haven, I don't know how good the Haven's gonna tank because of this positioning. But like I guess it will tank the groups when
Sky
it comes
Queens,
back from
at least.
Yeah.
the splits, yeah.
Oh, big sends all around. Fine, 600. Pavided 560. Drakir 580. Lucy with the biggest send of all, 660 Mythium there for her. Will anybody be able to hold here? The sends are pretty massive. Drakir, it looks like you're getting overrun. Pavided doing very, very well. Fine leaking 127%. That's kind of crazy. Pavided, though, that's a hold from him. While Lucy and Drakir 130, 75%. Pavided, what an absolute dream hold from this young man. Still going to take king damage, but definitely a one trade here in favour of Rampampam.
Maybe this mimic tech was not worth from Drakir as well, sending into full breeze.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like it could. So I'm gonna test it out, but I feel like double ogre plus pack will do much better here.
And Pavided now in a really strong spot. He's leading the power table, and Rampampam, they have come back from a pretty solid lead in favour of Barnes Kieran. Now Rampampam are looking really strong here in game number 4.
Yeah, and definitely good play from Pavided. Like, he built 4 of those trees. They were newly built on 14, made him halt
Yeah.
100%, so very good play by him. He's now 46 workers. So they aiming on 16, I will guess, with this high push.
Drakir and Lucy are going for the classic no-push strat, though, so they're both shifting northwards of 300 gold here on 15. They want to be ready for the 16 send, and I guess they will be. They should both be overvalue. They can't afford to leak, though, with just 29% HP left on the king. And yes, here comes that send. We've got the Centaur from Pavided. We've got a ton of brutes and a mole out of Fine. Oh, but Drakir and Lucy, they're going for the classic no-push send anyway strat, it seems.
Yeah, I think it makes sense into those boards again. Like, they expect to get sent.
Yeah.
And also Pavided and Fine are not looking that strong on this wave. If they push, they should leak to small send.
I mean, Fine's holding here, right? Like, if this Phoenix tanks well and the Sky Queen's to do damage, I think Fine should just hold here.
He is gonna be on value, so...
Yeah, he's on value. Pavided is not far behind, but Drakir, I mean, he's on value too. In fact, all 4 players basically are more or less on value, so we'll have to see if anything happens here on 16 or not. The sends coming out from Fine and Pavided are much bigger, but of course Drakir and Lucy have a little bit more value between them. Lucy has to deal with 200 more Mythium than anybody else, though, so let's see, will these Centaurs do the work that Pavided needs them to? The Slime Mummies are all getting full mana in Lucy's lane. Fine could maybe take some notes, and the Phoenix is tanking perfectly here for Fine. The Sky Queen's really dishing out the damage. That's an easy hold for him. Very, very nice positioning. Pavided doing the same. Lucy? I mean, she's doing phenomenally well. Drakir, that's a hold, but of course he was on value. Lucy receiving the biggest send. It's 109% leak, but that's kind of misleading, I think. It's only a Witch and the Centaurs, not leaking a single wave creep.
This is a very good trade for Fine and Pavided, though. They That more
Yeah,
workers, they send more
yeah.
more income, and also there is leaks. So
Yeah.
and also those two Kentars are quite nice gold for Pavidet.
Yeah.
It's the witch.
Yeah, that's a lot of gold from those frogs. Pavided now on 125 gold shutdown. He is in the driving seat in this game, it seems. I'm feeling pretty good about game number 5, guys. I don't want to rule out Barnes Kieran just yet, but Ram Pam Pam fans, this is exactly the way you wanted this game number 4 to play out.
I mean, definitely. If they lose this, it's gonna be because they
Make a mistake somehow, right?
Make a mistake, yeah.
Yeah.
Like they can force descent on their
Well,
frog wave or
one way for them to make a mistake would be for them to fall for this bait, with Drakia shifting 837 gold here on 17, and he will be extremely strong on wave 18 if he full builds there, with Fatalizers, with Arctes, with the villain buff as well. Remember, the only player to pick up that buff spell in this lobby. So this is crucial now. Ram Pam Pam, you cannot fall for this bait. If you do, Barnes Kieran might just snatch this game away.
Probably they already have 3 halos. I don't think they will be scared. Also, there is no leak.
They are not scared. Yeah, they correctly read this bait from Drakia, or at the very least, they feel like they're strong enough that even if it was a Sui play, they will survive. A really nice attempt there from Drakia, though. I respect it.
But they are respecting a little bit the sand here.
Yeah,
but yeah, they had to skip, and also they have full king, so
yeah. Oh, the upgrade now. Okay,
this is just safety. Like, very good play, very good.
Drakia can be pretty strong. Oh, the fact that he's committed 4 Fatalizers, though. So he did definitely have options to be strong on 19 with Banana Haven spam. But now with 4 Fatalizers, he's looking much, much weaker on 19. And it looks like that's what the game is going to come down to, guys.
Yeah, the 19 sand is forced because those builds are way too strong on 20.
Yeah.
So I don't think neither of those teams want to go 20.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah. Okay, so the 19 send. Oh. Wait, Ram Pam Pam? They save here? I don't know about that one, guys.
I don't like this because there's no way they wanted to 20 send into Draka and Lucy, and also Draka and Lucy don't want to send 20 into Pavidet, I think.
Well, now they just want to go 21, right? But first they have to survive 19. At the very least, they need to finish these king upgrades, right? They only have 4 king spell. Oh, they're going for post-income sends.
Oh my god.
Oh, I think they realized their mistake here. That's a lot of gold they've missed out on, though.
That's, yeah. But I also like that they actually send it right now, because they realized, and it looks dumb, but I think it's the good play to do it anyway.
It's better than dying when you're so far ahead, right? Like, which one looks dumber? Oh, Drakia, he's doing really well. This buffed Banana Haven finally going down. Is it even just a hold for him? Oh, there will be a leak on Fine. Not a massive one, but a shutdown nonetheless. Pavided, he only has 1 Halo left. Lucy's leaking 113%. Pavided does leak as well, 175 gold. If they had sent pre-income, these would have been easy holds for both Fine and Pavided for sure.
This is
200 shutdown, and the leak got just because
they're dead, right?
But they're dead, right? Yeah, wave 19 is just way too deadly on the king.
So good presence of mind.
If they live, this will be disastrous.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean that was interesting, because we can say, right, Fine and Pavided would have lived without sending there on 19, because well they already didn't get any income, right? So their holds were exactly the same as if they skipped altogether. And then they would have been 100% certain to win on wave 21, right? But they also could have just sent pre-income for 19, guarantee that they both hold, and win the game anyway. So I don't know. It's an interesting one, but the crucial thing is the series is now tied 2-2, And that reverse sweep that we were saying is so difficult for Rampampam to achieve is now looking very possible. They're just played phenomenally well from behind. They didn't let the pressure go to them, and the game is just anybody's now to win in game number 5. So really exciting for the viewers, really exciting for me as well as the caster, and I'm super keen to see which team is going to be this month's champion. The players are getting ready, the lobby is available, and which way do you think it's going to go? Guys, I called Rampampam before the series. I think you two both went with Barnes Kieran, right?
Yeah.
Are you sticking with those choices, or do you like the way Fine and Pavidad have been playing these last couple of games?
I like how they come back, but I'm gonna stick to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with it.
All right. Well, I'm going to stick cheering with Rampampam though. So let's keep some spice on the caster panel as well and see which way this goes.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, even though Ramadan they're kind of like they have the momentum right now. I feel like if it's a game 5, you know, it's the final game. Every team won't give their best. In game 3 and 4, maybe Drakir and Lucy they were like slacking off a little bit because they had the lead. But now it's the final game. Everyone's gonna give their best.
Yeah, everything to play for. Guys, this is what it all comes down to. Definitely been an exciting series so far. Which team will triumph? Will it be Rampampam? Will it be Barnes Kieran? Game number 5. Everything to play for. Let's go. Alright, we've got 2 nice aggressive spells here with the Overwork and the Robo Army. Sorcerer as the only buff spell, and this time around Fine doesn't have lock-in available, so he can't go for that Sorcerer as area as his answer for the aggressive wave 11. We've got Greed Chaos from Rampampam. We've got Greed Cartel from Drakir and Lucy, and I'll be really interested to see, because Lucy was a cartel main for a long time. She definitely knows how to make the most of this mastermind in the early game. She definitely knows how strong it is, especially in lobbies that have those big aggressive spells available. So I'm excited to see if she can just turn this into a nice victory for herself.
I'm already excited to see some Honey Bear action on this lane.
I mean, Honey Bear has seemed like a little bit of a flop so far this tournament, right? Like, every time we've seen it sent, it's healed about 200 HP.
But this game, it makes sense to send it. It's a full AoE.
A lot of AoE,
yeah. Pavidad's on an AoE build
no
as
split
well.
with board. Pavidad is Chaos.
Okay, yeah, okay.
It's just opener, and then he will have the build what Chaos God will offer him.
Of course. Let's hope he's been praying. Drakir, yeah, I mean, that really is a very heavy AoE roll, actually, with the Flower, with the Aqua, with the Casket, and with the Boar as well. So yeah, if there's ever a game for Honey Bear, it's got to be this one. Lucy's re-rolled already, by the way. I don't know if that's her final roll or if she's still picking, maybe.
Now she's final. She swapped something with the Antler. I didn't catch it.
So that's the roll. Now, I don't know. Lucy's roll definitely has some options available. Like, if she gets a white main Sovereign with Tree of Life, that thing can basically become unkillable. But it's a
little bit not fitting in the role.
Yeah, I think it's not the best role I've ever seen, for sure. And her early game might be a bit rough, right? Which is when Cartel really needs to shine, so definitely not the ideal role for this situation. But let's see if she can make it work.
Definitely can, but as you mentioned, it's a tricky one. She needs to spam the PVs or build the trees, but the trees are losing value over the time, so not optimal.
Now, Drakir just receiving income. Pavidad actually saving, though. Lucy not looking fantastic on wave 4 and doesn't really have a great option there. Sure, she can drop a Treant, it will have the 20% buff, but wave 4 is really bad for Treant in terms of typing.
This is a nice pickup from Pavidad, the little angler.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a decent number of stacks. The perfect wave to drop it, of course, on wave 3. And here comes the full send. So the players are already showing us some action here in game number 4. This will not be another income king game, it seems. Does Pavided reach 40? No, right? So he can only add a snail to that brute send, but it's still 80 Mythium for Lucy, who is really not looking great here. Does go for the Treant. It's her best option here, I feel.
Yeah,
Will it be
but
enough?
low damage and low armor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the tree is not the best here.
At least the Poda is tanking like pretty good.
Yeah, very nice
I
split
just don't know
tanking,
if
of
it's,
course, but it's not going to be quite enough for the hold. The Treant goes down now. The Brute is on the Priestess. She will get one more heal off. Actually performing really, really well, but still, that is a 27% leak. I think Lucy's happy with that result.
Yeah, I think both are happy.
Pavida leaking a
So
single
probably.
creep to that DT.
But the Brute will go on the King. So
Oh. Single Brute can actually do some serious damage on wave 4, but they have got 4 attack king upgrades, so it kind of limits the damage pretty decently.
Voided is gonna be stuck with slower keys. He needs to overbuild. He's weak on next wave and he's getting saved on here, so he can't really push.
Yeah.
Hopefully he
Fine, it's,
don't fall behind.
we're halfway to the Honey Bear.
Oh!
Almost there.
Oh, I'm
I
ready.
mean-
I'm ready for it.
I mean, if Fine can get the Mole Hermit for 7, it will be...
Or the
kinda-
Honey Bear. You know, just one
Oh, the Honey Bear, yeah, yeah.
I kind of want to see it.
Me too.
The thing is, it's really difficult for Fine to try and skip wave 6, right? Because he's being saved on here. Lucy and
Yes,
Rukia
there.
both going with brute sends here on wave 6. And yes, there is that Hermit coming out from Fine. And Pavided dropping a brute of his own. Pavided really low on workers, though.
Drak can be in trouble here.
I don't know what he's gonna add here. I feel like upgrading the slime would be the better option, no?
But look at where it's placed. Doesn't it just die?
He listened. He
Oh!
listened.
He's stream sniping!
Yeah, these
Oh,
people-
Drakia, do you get the second brute? It's close. Oh, he missed it. Only a DT. That is a massive difference in sending power between a double brute and a brute DT. Fine receives 140, of course. There is the double brute here. The Oathbreaker, the front line crumbling. This will be a very big leak for Fine. Pavided, though, this is looking like hold territory, guys. Let's check. Drakia receiving the Hermit brute. Big send on him. That's a 70% leak. Fine 82 meanwhile. But Lucy, she's holding as well with her Pota build. So both teammates are able to cover for their allies receiving the bigger send. That's very, very nice indeed. Although there will still be a decent amount of king damage on the side of Ram Pam Pam.
Lucy's
Yeah,
taking the
super-
lead here. It's the Elon Workies.
Yep. She's on 11 workies. Fine and Pavided both lagging way behind on 8. Fine now going up to 9 and actually resending as well. Okay, this could get interesting now, guys.
I don't like this reason because okay, or you can do that. Usually the play would be to sell this Peewee and have the wave gone the Poda. But I guess if you do this, that's also fine.
Yeah, I mean, she's going to be just completely fine, right? She's really, really strong on this wave.
Yeah, it's gonna be close to full hold, if not a full hold. So that brute just not enough.
No.
Maybe if you get 2 brutes.
But Lucy also went for a full send into Fine, so let's see if there's anything better coming out of this. Fine's split crumbles, the Oathbreaker goes down very soon after that. And yeah, it looks like Lucy's resend way more successful. He won't even be able to kill this brute, I don't think. Yeah, 74% leak for Fine. Lucy receiving the 80 send. Looks like a hold, right? There's going to be another heal there. Should be able to kill the brute, unless... Absolutely got his guy. 22% leak there on Lucy. She'll never recover from that one. But yeah, this 70% leak on Fine. When he's on nearly 700 value, Lucy really making the most of her aggressive worker push here in game number 5. And she continues to take the lead. She's on 13 workers now. Everybody else in the lobby is falling behind on just 10.
Fine is in big trouble. Like he's leaking, and his roll is very rough. Like there's like his roll is not very strong to hold any resents.
And it doesn't really get better in the late game either, does it? That's a bit of a nightmare game number 5 roll from Fine. Like, yeah, if you're already under all of this pressure for game number 5 and that's your roll, you're not feeling too happy, I don't think.
Yeah, no synergy whatsoever, and kind of like a very awkward mid-game roll. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he just never gets better. Like, what's his carry unit in the late game?
Like, his roll is gonna peak on wave 9.
Yeah. Exactly. And then just start to... I mean, it's peaking not particularly high either. And he's leaking again, so this 160 Mythium resend from Lucy. This is starting to look quite rough for Rampampam. Yeah, there's 42%. Drakir, meanwhile, was saving on Pavided, so he is under a lot of pressure. Lucy getting away with murder with her 14 workers, holding the 120 resend quite comfortably. This game is pretty rough. Pavided at least has this...
What can they do?
Yeah, what can they do?
They maybe can't pressure Big Send 10, but they choosing for income, so that's out of the window as well. I'm not sure if this income is even helping Fine. Like, his roll is not gonna carry him. He's behind, and his income sending. I would say that he has to kind of starve and go for
This
sense.
is not what you need. You need Honey Bear. That's the only unit that can save you.
And if we don't see Honey Bear in this game, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
I mean, look at this build. It's Honey Bear.
Yeah, I know.
With the monuments as well, like he's even asking for it.
Oh!
Yeah! Drakir's literally asking for it. Oh, this send is massive now. Wave 10, Ogre Brute coming out from Drakir. He'll be able to send at least one more Brute post-income as well. Pavided just going for income, desperately trying to survive this Wave 10. Fine, likewise. Pavided, what has he got? 300 gold to spend. Disciple seems okay, at least for single target damage. What else can he do with 90 gold? I suppose a Devilfish? Yeah, okay. So the Swift Tank is not bad. Disciple's okay for damage, but the Send is just massive for him.
I feel like you need more tank value, you know? Like an Alpha Male here, because you need something to tank for KP.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the Send is...
Interesting. 360 Mythium there for Pavided. That is... way too much Mythium to deal with on wave 10. Is he killing the Brute there? No, not quite. Is it even enough to kill the boss? I mean, the boss is low, but it's not going to be quite enough. Boss leaks there with 380 HP, 71% leak for Fine, while Drakir and Lucy sitting pretty, receiving their income King Sends once again.
Yeah, kinda unlucky for Pavided not killing the Brute or the boss. Like, if he only licked the Ogre with some luck,
yeah,
it would be perfect.
Well, at the same time, if he never focused the Brute, he probably kills the boss, right? So yeah, really worst case aggro for him, I think. All right.
Okay, overwork action. Income.
Lucy's on fire here.
Up some...
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure of the overwork into income king play, because...
I mean, if the wave is short and they also have no income, I'm not sure if it's worth.
They are at least ahead in terms of income now, but this full income king We'll just let Lucy continue to grow that lead, I think. She's already on 21 workers, way ahead of everybody else in the game. And Drakir continues to cringe against Povided. So Drakir knows his place, at least in this game, is just to support Lucy, right? She's the carry this game. Fine, it seems, despite having that janky role, hasn't quite accepted the same fate for himself. He's still trying to scale in this game.
Yeah, his board is gonna look really good on 14. That's it.
Right, yeah. I mean, he's got the Badder Badger.
It's auto hold.
Auto hold. I'm surprised he didn't build one for Wave 11, actually.
Yeah, that's where the Badger is good.
Now, Lucy growing that lead as expected, all the way up to 26 workers. Oh, is he making it? No, he's just taunting us. No, it is! It's Badger time. Let's go.
We're back.
Fine sitting on plus 85, receiving the post-income King Ups here only. Drakir, I mean, he's playing hyper low value here, 1500 value for wave 12. More than enough, though, because he does have that Sorcerer death cap. Lucy, really the only player that's having much of a game here, it seems, in number 5. What do Rampampam need to do here, guys? Like, I guess they could play for 14?
He needs to add Iron Scale here, but
Yeah. Yeah, he's building for 13, and they 13'nt, so he's just making his board potentially weaker on wave 14, where it looks like everybody is going to send.
I mean, the Sun is coming on 14, and I just don't see how they hold it. Like, you have this,
Yeah.
and you have this.
They do have a healthy king with 6/6 on the upgrades.
So is it like Income King time?
It's Honey Badger time, maybe.
Oh, Honey Badger time, let's go. Surely the Honey Badger into Drakir. There's a ton of AoE on his build. Like, if you don't send the Badger here, then when do you ever send it?
Report.
Yeah, unfortunate.
I'm gonna report this guy.
Oh, Drakir! Leaking to no
Especially
send.
with this happening? Like, come on.
Yeah,
report.
not
sending
full sending into
Badger.
that seems interesting, honestly. But fine, at least he's going to be able to fully upgrade the king, right? He probably can't actually because his worker count is so low. They won't be able to get the full 10/10 for sure. And the sends coming out from Drakir on Lucy are much, much more dangerous, it seems. Drakir, of course, he's low workers, but he did skip that wave 11, while Lucy with 28 is representing such a big threat here into Fine. Now, Fine, sure, he's got decent value, but he did build these units on wave 13. He gets the Iron Scales now, though, so... But still, much, much bigger sends walking into the lanes for Rampampam. 540 for Fine, 620 for Povided. Lucy receiving 400. There should be a leak on her, but the Azeria... Wow! Oh. This is going to be a big leak for Povided. And Fine is not doing much better. These are both north of 100%, and Lucy is holding her full send. Oh dear, guys, this game is all but done for. I think they'll survive here, but at what cost?
Yeah, it's kind of over.
King dropping very, very low here on Rampampam. They're down to 38%. Jules is not happy with them at all, giving them just 5% chance to win here. And honestly, that might be generous. Look how far ahead Lucy is on this power score. She's 5.8k. She's on 125 gold shutdown. She has by far the highest worker count in the game. I just don't see how Rampampam come back into this one.
Guys, type 1 in the chat if you want to see a honey bear being sent before the end of the game. I mean, I don't know how many waves we have until the end, but come on, we want to see a honey bear in this lane.
We have 2 waves.
You think 17 to end it?
16.
60. Okay. I mean, Dragear's holding 16, right? Lucy's probably holding 16 as well.
Oh, we see the Phoenix and the Honeyflower, so okay. It might be 17 then. From the Pavided.
Yeah, and like a
He
true
rolled off
Chaos
flower
Beast,
here.
flower for Pavided, yeah. And Dragear and Lucy do save their Mythium. Good read, though, from Pavided, going for the boar instead of that Honeyflower.
Yeah. Is it gonna be enough though?
I don't know, man. Fine going for boars here as well.
And Fine is not gonna send Honey Badger because they see boars, so I'm gonna be very sad.
I mean, the Honey Badger should be perfect against the boars, right? To mitigate that
Yeah,
splash damage.
it's gonna heal the splash. Yeah.
It's gonna be Cannoneers.
No, I mean just for the sake of seeing that, just seeing the Honey Badger in action, we need to have it. We need to have it.
Well, let's see, guys, because Wave 17 is coming up very quickly here. There's the Cannoneers, Adams with the read, man.
I'm gonna report this guy.
Yes. Report fine, not even trying, man. Game number 5, Nova Cup, not even sending the Badger. That's a beautiful rainbow there, X-God.
Thank you.
Oh, but Dragear and Lucy, they saved their Mythium.
2%. Let's go.
Yeah. And the fact that they go for Income King here as well, like, I don't know, maybe there's a world where they claim these 250 gold shutdowns and then have a chance to hold the next send. But with Income King here, I feel like they're just hammering the nail into their coffin themselves.
Yeah, I mean, if they get a shutdown, it's actually it's probably still not enough. But I mean, 250 gold shutdown, it's still
Yeah.
a lot.
Dragear won't leak to income though, and Lucy probably won't either.
No, they are easy holding.
Oh, look at all of that splash damage. Imagine if there was a mercenary that could
I-
heal it all up.
I'm gonna
I
test
know,
it in
right?
Sandbox.
It's kind of weird that we didn't have that kind of mercenary. That's
Yeah, imagine if we have the mercenary that heals the wave.
That could have done some real work, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, the Income King is just... it's a desperation play. It's clearly not enough. Barnes Kieran, they go for the throat now. Massive sends coming out here on wave 18. Double Kraken from Dragear. Kraken Shaman pack from Lucy. Fine and Pavided, they're both well over 1,000 gold undervalue when they finish building. There was even a Harden here for good measure. And I just don't see there's any chance for them to survive. Jules is still giving them 2%. I'm not sure I agree with that one. I think this game is all but done for.
yeah.
There's
not
just
looking
no
good.
damage for Fine. That is full leaking.
He's just leaking everything, yeah. Pavided, I mean, he's got some damage, he's got some tank, but it's just nowhere near enough against a send of this size. 1140 for Fine, 960 for Pavided. They're hoping for a miracle. I just don't see it happening, guys. Phoenix now full tanks, didn't tank anything before. And this is game here, number 5. Pavided 133, Fine 150. Barnes Kieran, they are your October Nova Cup champions. Very well played, Dragear and Lucy. This was a hard-fought grand finals, but they do manage to take the victory here in game number 5.
GG.
Good game.
G. Wow. Okay. This was exciting. Let me see if we can get Dragear and Lucy in here for a quick winners interview. But what a game, guys. Like, this was... Let me just show you the graph here. This was very much a bad to worse situation. Barnes Kieran, they were in the lead all the way from the early game, just dominating, it seems, against Fine and Pavided here in game number 5. A bit of a shame, really, because we saw some signs of life, right? And here they are, the players themselves, Lucy and Drakia. Massive congratulations to you guys. Very well played.
Thank you.
Yeah, we were just saying it almost felt like there was going to be a bit of an anticlimactic 3-0 because game number 1 and 2 were a little bit stompy in your favour. And then all of a sudden, Rampampam really came out kicking and screaming in game number 3 and 4. It was really fast-paced, aggressive. There was no more handshake gaming with Income King like we saw in some of the other games. A lot of early aggression, and they really put you guys on the back foot. So I was really happy with the way they turned it around. I was cheering for the reverse sweep. Apologies. But they couldn't quite make it happen with you guys just dominating here again in game number 5. But did they make you sweat at least after game 3 and 4?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Drahir, was you scared of Honey Bears last game when you had your role?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just sandbox it. If they send for on 14 with Honey Bear, Mole, and Hermit and whatever, it's a leak.
On the last game?
Yeah, on 14.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's actually a pretty decent league too. But instead, it's 3 Cannoneers, some income.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I saw the Cannoneer, I was like, oh no, not like this.
Yeah, it definitely gave us a run for money.
Yeah. We were all just very
3 and 4.
disappointed not to see the Honey Bear shine, to be honest.
True. Did we even send a single one?
Yeah.
The
I
entire
did a couple.
Oh yeah. I think we sent like 1 in the game we lost.
I sent the Copian Bear.
In
The
some
coach-
games there was Honey Bears, but they literally did nothing. Like they
Yeah.
hit like 1 or 2 units. But this was the perfect game to send it into
Yes.
Drahir.
Yeah.
This is the perfect game. Yes.
Yeah, I missed the opportunity.
I mean, you even have all of the Honey Bear monuments in your lane, right? Like, you're building full AoE, you've got the
Yeah.
monument, and he just refused to send it. So I'm a little bit
Yeah.
disappointed in that one.
Yeah, maybe I scared him off with the monuments.
Yeah. But how do you find the meta this tournament, right? I know a lot of people have been talking about it being a very Income King heavy meta with games going particularly late, which was true, actually, right up until game 3, it seems, of this final. And then all of a sudden, we went back to what felt like a bit more the usual Nova Cup style, right? With a lot more early game aggression, some power mercenaries, some cringing. It was certainly more exciting to watch, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of, well, it was kind of interesting. I feel like if I went for the more income style in the games we lost, we might have had a better chance.
Or if
I don't
did
know.
much.
It's kind of weird, the meta. I don't know. I feel like incoming is usually just better
Mm,
in most
Yeah.
cases.
yeah.
So,
And especially a lot of those lobbies that we saw did have, a lot of eco spells, a lot of buff spells, and you guys know exactly how to play around that. We saw a lot of castle, a lot of chaos, a lot of redraw, really playing for the late game, especially when we see those eco style lobbies, right? But you guys play it very well, so why not go for it if you think that's the best line? I wanted to ask actually because not just here in the finals, but all through your group stage, you guys played a lot of Castle Chaos when there have been those lobbies. Do you think this is the best pairing for heavy eco games, or what's your theory there?
I like Kingsguard too, to be honest.
I mean, I think Castle is a bit risky when you have like equally like rated opponents.
Mhm.
Because then you can get punished really hard if you have like a slightly bad roll.
Okay.
But I like picking Castle when I'm like confident that I can like survive the early game.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. That's what Castle's all about, right? Just survive early and then giga scale late. Though I think, having said that, every time I saw Lucy playing Castle, she's like the highest workers in the lobby by wave 4, right?
Yeah, of course.
Sometimes
Lucy
I
just built a little bit different. But okay, well, I think that's probably about all we have time for this month, guys. So once again, massive congratulations to Drakir and Lucy. It's nice to see you guys back here on the winners podium. You played phenomenally well. You definitely deserve to be here. A shout out to your opponents, of course, because Fine and Pavided certainly gave you a run for your money. I was especially happy with the way they played that game 3 and 4, because they must have been under pressure, right, after losing the first 2 games, but they didn't let it get to their heads. They played really well and gave us all a show to be proud of. But ultimately, it is you guys here on the winners interview, and you definitely deserve that spot. So it's very, very well played to you. And now all there's time for from me is thank you to my lovely casters, XGod and Adams. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, of course, to all of the tournament organisers, staff making things run smooth behind the scenes, and of course, Auto Attack Games for sponsoring and hosting this tournament. Any last words from my co-casters? I'm going to shut up now.
I think you sum it up pretty well. Just really good series from both teams, and in the end, Drakir and Lucy were able to play better in game 5. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well played, once again. I also have one extra question. If there was something that surprised you in the matches, if there was something that was a little bit strange or something, or all usual stuff.
Oh, I think I didn't expect Pawida to go Fiesta at one game. He played it really well, so that did catch me off guard at least.
He kind of masked it on wave 1 because he held.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we kind of thought already that it's Fiesta, but yeah, I didn't realize that he would pick Fiesta. That was really well played by him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect that pressure for sure.
Yeah, he was pressuring really hard.
He also picked it straight into Lucy's Fiesta as well, right? So I wonder if that was just a 5-head read.
Yeah, it might have been a read, because Fiesta sending into the Fiestas the advantage, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Get all the Bard gold.
Yeah, fair play. I mean, big respect to those guys. They made the best of a bad situation. Yeah, and they caught you off guard, Drakir, but in the end, it wasn't enough. All right, guys. Well, on that note, that was a interesting question, Adams. Thank you for that one. But I think that's everything for now. So, guys, the October Cup is done. Drakir and Lucy are your champions. And until November, guys, this will be presumably the last Cup of the year. However, there is an FTQ Cup coming up in December, so make sure you keep your eyes open for that one. It's going to be a community-hosted tournament sponsored by FTQ, and he's actually putting up a pretty juicy prize pool, so make sure you guys keep your eyes open for that one. Sign up. I think there's like $1,000 on the table, which is, I mean, pretty insane, right? For a community-hosted cup, that's amazing. So shout out to FTQ for hosting that, and keep your eyes open, guys. Make sure you sign up to the FTQ Cup when that is available. But until